Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2024 She Has a Deal Early Careerist Pitch Competition. Our mistress of ceremonies this morning is the dynamic and captivating Director of Global Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion at Hyatt Corporation. Put your hands together and join me in welcoming Ronisha Goodwin to the stage.
Good morning. Hi, friends. Feeling good today? Yeah? Okay, good. Welcome to a platform where the future of hospitality unfolds right before our eyes. I'm Ronisha Goodwin, and it's my honor to present She Has a Deal for the Next Generation, the Early Careerist. SHaD is thrilled to kick off an extraordinary journey with these bright, ambitious young women who represent the future of hospitality, hotel ownership, and development. This isn't just a competition, it's a movement, igniting a transformative wave across the hospitality industry. SHaD's mission is multifaceted, beginning with showcasing the potential of hotel ownership. They open doors, shedding light on the boundless opportunities awaiting these young women. Their commitment deepens through education, equipping these early careerists with the expertise to confidently spearhead hotel investments. The tailored, nine-stage hotel investment roadmap demystifies the industry's complexities, ensuring these aspiring leaders are primed for success. The foundation of SHaD's initiative is the robust network they cultivate, comprising of collaborators, mentors, and sponsors, and that's where each of you plays a pivotal role. This supportive ecosystem is the bedrock of the mission, providing the guidance, support, and advocacy needed to nurture and champion these young women on their transformative journey. Central to their efforts is the SHaD Prosperity Fund, instrumental in bridging the gap from aspiration to reality. This fund is the lifeline, offering the capital resources necessary to bring these hotel deals to fruition have experienced over the past 7 months.
She Has a Deal was founded in 2019 to create pathways to hotel ownership and development for women. Women represent an extraordinarily small percentage of hotel owners, and we want to change that. She Has a Deal's signature event is a hotel investment pitch competition for women. How does it work? The process starts when women apply to participate in the pitch competition as individuals or small teams of up to 3. Once accepted, each pitching team comes up with a name and is assigned a coach to help them through the competition. Over several months, competitors are given exclusive access to hotel investment education that is not taught in schools. Educational content is delivered by SHaD luminaries, industry experts in fields like law, accounting, real estate development, and hotel operations. In addition to learning from these luminaries, pitching teams are meeting potential mentors and future collaborators to whom they would not otherwise have access. SHaD's educational modules are taught in the form of master classes and cover every aspect of sourcing, evaluating, financing, and closing a hotel investment deal. The teams are given a unique financial model developed by hotel owners that walks them through projecting revenues, expenses, and ultimate return on investment. At the end, each team will have identified and analyzed a real hotel project in preparation to pitch the deal to a panel of investor judges. The winning team is awarded deal equity, meaning partial ownership of a real hotel. While only one team wins, every participant walks away from the She Has a Deal experience with a depth of knowledge and a bank of new professional connections that can't be found anywhere else.
Now, the visionary behind it all, a transformative hotel owner, operator, and developer, the founder of She Has a Deal, someone I look up to so much, Tracy Prigmore.
She has a deal. She has a deal. Thank you, Renisha, and warm welcome to everyone.
Tracy, as we celebrate 5 seasons of She Has a Deal, can you share what drives your passion for nurturing the next generation in the hotel industry?
Absolutely. So when I started SHAD, I was in pursuit, well, before I started SHAD, I was in pursuit of hotel ownership, and I found it difficult to find information in the way that I needed it to take on the risk. I encountered massive barriers, and I wasn't able to find a mentor. So essentially, She Has a Deal is everything that I wish I had. It's everything that I learned along the way. I pour into She Has a Deal for the women. Also, there are very few women on the ownership side of the business, and I really wanted to change that.
You've already made such a big impact in such a short amount of time. Tell us about the women who are pitching today.
Sure, they're early careerists pitching today. They are in college or graduate school, or they recently graduated. With this cohort, we're building the future pipeline of hotel owners and developers. It's important to note that they may not be in a position to close on their hotel deals today. However, the deals that they are pitching are actual opportunities, and they went out into the market and identified those deals while learning about hotel real estate investing. Each of them will have 15 minutes to pitch their projects, followed by a 10-minute Q&A session with our esteemed judges. Thus, the women will be judged based on how well they mastered the content using 5 basic criteria. Number 1, competitive advantage. How do they intend to deliver value to investors? Number 2, market analysis. How well do they really understand the market in which the hotel operates? And then 3, due diligence. How did they confirm that this deal is actually feasible? And number 4, is it going to make the return on investment? Every investor wants a return on investment. Lastly, is their performance. How well did they present their deal and respond to the judge's questions? Now, the grand prize, it's an investment of equity into the SHAD Prosperity Fund, $50,000. Yeah, that's a lot of money for early careers, right? It's a stepping stone toward turning their grand ideas into grander reality. So they automatically become hotel owners when they win, and they get the rights and privileges that owners share.
Thank you so much for that overview, Tracy. We will join you at the SHAD Table Talk in a little bit.
All right, thank you, Renisha.
To get us started with the competition, I'd like to introduce you to our judges who are right here in front, a couple familiar faces. They are experts in the industry with a mix of SHAD partners and investors in the SHAD Prosperity Fund. Please hold your applause until all 5 judges are introduced. First up is the Vice President of Strategic Resorts, where she oversees the company's growth in the Americas region. Next, Matthew Hostler. Did I say that right, Matthew? Hostler. Forgive me. I apologize. Is currently serving as the Chief Development Officer, Franchise Sales and Development USA for the leader of the economy lodging industry, Red Roof. And also joining us as Senior Vice President from National Capital Bank, please welcome Ryan McKinley. Thank you, judges. It's great to have you here. Once the women have completed their pitch and have answered all of our judges' questions, they will head backstage to my counterpart, Tejal Patel. She is going to get us the inside scoop in a quick backstage interview. Hey, Tejal.
Hey, Renisha, how are you doing?
Feeling good.
Good, good. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Tejal Patel, and welcome to day 2 of She Has a Deal. I'll be backstage again today interviewing our fabulous women as they come off. But remember, while I interview these incredible women, you all back at home and in the audience have an important job as well. In between our pitches, you'll see a QR code come up, and we need you to rate each of the pitches. These ratings will actually contribute to 5% of the total, Renisha, help me out here. 5% of the total score. I said that right. Perfect. So 5% of the total score. And to sweeten the deal, we have incredible raffles going on, which includes free stays at fabulous hotels and other amazing rewards. Back to you, Renisha.
Thanks, friend. So glad you're back there. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're here to hear more than just pitches. These women are going to share their visions for the future. So I invite you all to lean in, listen closely, and be inspired by the transformative power of SHaD. To get us started, I'd like you to meet Ivory Key Ventures, a team from the University of South Carolina and George Mason University.
Hi, my name is Vanessa Guerrero, and I'm a senior finance student at George Mason University in Northern Virginia.
Hi, my name is Yiming Qi. I go by Crystal. I am at University of South Carolina.
What made me want to join the SHaD program the main reason was that I wanted to step out of my comfort zone. I wanted to challenge myself.
I think I learned a lot of aspects of different sector of hotel investment, starting from the real estate to closing.
I've walked away, I think, differently from She Has a Deal. I'm applying a new level of thinking and research to my financial field.
I also think that mentorship along the way and your team member building that group trust is very important to me, and that's the most valuable lesson that I learned throughout the whole process.
I've learned so much from her. We have very different skills and sometimes very different perspectives, but we've built such a great chemistry and we mesh very well.
Unlocking the potential of extended stay market in Brandon, Florida, here are Crystal Key and Vanessa Guerrero.
Good morning, I am Yiming Qi.
My name is Vanessa Guerrero.
Together, we represent Ivory Key Ventures, and today we are introducing Home to Suite in Brandon, Florida.
Today, we are unlocking an investment opportunity for you to invest in a 125-room hotel proudly affiliated with the Hilton brand. It is situated on I-4, I-75, and the Selman Expressway, granting easy access to the Tampa Bay region. Looking at the pictures from top to bottom, the hotel offers standard room types, suites, and amenities catering to our diverse guest preferences. The hotel was built on a concrete block by a couple with a long-term vision for durability and quality. The rooms are equipped with highly efficient appliances, with sustainability being a key pillar. All the rooms standard have kitchenettes, and we have a meeting space of 1,700 square feet, and we offer an outdoor eco-friendly sailing pool.
As we delve into the heart of investment, I want to draw your attention to a core financial aspect of the project. We're embarking a venture with a total acquisition cost of $30 million. First, let's talk about enhancing value. We're investing $1.5 million towards renovation. Our closing cost stands at $1.8 million, which equals our total project cost of $33 million, or $267,000 per key cost. We're entering the market with an 8.6% cap rate. Now moving to the future, our returns. For our 5-year holding period, we're seeing an internal rate of return of 22.44%. This metric forecasts an initial investment return of 22.44%. This means that if you invest in this hotel, your money is expected to grow by 22.44 each year over the holding period. This number is substantially higher than many other types of investment. An initial multiple investment of 22.46 signifies that for every single dollar invested, our investor can expect a $2.46 back. Lastly, our annualized cash-on-cash return of 11.86%. This means that our investor can expect 11.86% of their initial investment back in cash annually. This is a straightforward way of understanding how much cash this investment generates over the holding period relative to the initial investment. This is a well-equipped acquisition hotel that's cash flowing from day one, and with our strategic renovation, a strong market, and a growth potential. We're seeing an ongoing revenue generate, and coupled with our decreasing our operational costs, we're expecting a higher return with the end of the holding period. Come with us, we'll bring our investment journey on how we get to the returns.
Now first, let's talk about our comp set. Here you will see a chart providing key details of our competitors, including the distance, number of rooms, and open date. The mix of hotels includes Hilton-branded hotels as well as other branded hotels under different ownership and management companies. All of our competitors are all located within close proximity, ranging from 0.3 miles to 0.8 miles.
Now let's talk about demand performance. A key success factor of our Home2Suite project is a superior demand performance. Looking to the left of the screen, you will see our occupancy index stand at impressive 114.5% relative to our comp set, which was mentioned in the previous page, indicating that we're capturing a large market share. Shifting to the right of the screen, we're seeing ADR equally compelling with a 115.4% average index compared to a comp set, indicating that we're constantly achieving higher room rates than our competitors. This is a clear sign for our hotel's strong value proposition and our customers' willingness to pay a premium for the service we offer. Now moving to our demand projection for the next 5 years. To the left of the screen, you will see our occupancy index stands at 110.6%. We continue to see outperforming with our competitors in occupancy. Shifting to the right, we'll see our ADR with the constantly growth, with the index averages at 106.4%. How do we come to these numbers? We annualize our Hotel Horizon report from CBRE and our CoStar projection. See in the market, we're expecting to see a growth of 1% in occupancy and ADR in the submarket compared in our same hotel segment. Using the market share times our fair share of the market, we come to our projection. We're confident about our projection in both ADR and occupancy, not just realistic, but also attainable in the next 5 years. Sorry, I'm having this Wi-Fi popped up. I need some help. Close that. I can't get to the next page.
Okay. Moving on to our demand generators. Brandon, Florida is the southeast of Tampa and just within a 15-minute proximity to the Tampa downtown district. It is a dynamic and expanding community, and Home2Suite sits right off of Interstate 75 and an abundance of landmarks, museums, parks, shopping opportunities, and a lively downtown district surround the property. The listed leisure attractions on your right are all within 20-minute proximity, bringing in 27 million visitors in 2023. Our initial goal was to find a property with a strong market, but not a destination market. Beyond our leisure attractions is located near several other key attractions, including Tampa's International Airport, serving nearly 25 million passengers, providing easy access to the Tampa Bay region. We are also in 15-minute proximity to 3 major healthcare facilities and 3 major universities within a total student enrollment of 80,000 students. We are also near Raymond James Stadium, home to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Amalie Arena, home to the Tampa Bay Lightning. In addition, the Gasworks project is a redistribution project that will bring 5,000 apartments, 500,000 square feet of office space, and 140,000 square feet of retail spacing, which is expected to increase our occupancy and revenue over the hold period. In addition, Coca-Cola is located within 10 minutes from our hotel, and they have invested $250 million into the new state-of-the-art facility for their sales and distribution center, which is expected to open in 2024. The Florida's biggest port is the port of Tampa Bay, generating $380 million in economic activity, bringing cruise lines and other companies that have a presence at the port to the property. You might be wondering, this is a great market, but what about the supply that's coming in? Well, based on CoStar, there are two hotels currently in the pipeline to open in 2025, and we do not foresee either of these properties posing a threat to our asset. As the Cambria Hotel is an upscale chain scale serving a more luxury-seeking consumer base, and considering the highly competitive market in our area, the Wyndham Garden location is 5 miles away, and we do not expect it to have a direct influence on our property.
Great market promises steady growth. Not only that, we're promising $1.5 million to our property improvement plan. This hotel was built in 2018, and this will be its first PIP. Our construction team estimated 6 to 8 months of completion timeline. Now let's talk about what goes into the plan. The PIP will allow us to modernize our facility, update room decor such as furnitures, carpeting, and wallpapers, and improve our common areas, which directly enhances the guest experience and leads to a higher guest satisfaction rate and increase our repeat guests, and potentially a higher rating on our travel review site. This investment also allows us to upgrade systems and technologies to improve our operation efficiency, reducing long-term maintenance costs and energy consumption. For example, our modernized lighting system and water-saving fixtures not only cuts costs, but also appealing selling points for eco-cautious travelers. With the investment of $12,000 per key, it's important to note that this figure is $2,000 per key above the broker's initial projection. This was a calculated decision made after extensive consultation with the Hilton brand representative, seasoned hotel owners, and experienced contractors, given the current landscape of the construction cost.
Now, we come to our bottom line. Let's talk about how we came up with these numbers. The historical performance of the property showcases a solid track record of growth and profitability. There are no major capital expenditures in the near future, allowing there to be cash flow generation. In 2022, net operating income saw a significant increase to $3 million, accounting for 47.3% of the revenue. In 2023, net operating income stabilized to $2.68 million, accounting for 43.1% of the revenue. In 2025, we projected a 4.4% decrease in revenue due to a potential decrease in occupancy from the property improvement plan set in place. Conservatively, we projected a 2.5 average annual growth rate the subsequent years. This property shows promising revenue and steady NOI growth over the years, supporting Home2 Suites, that it will continue to be a strong performing asset with robust revenue growth, high occupancy, and increasing profitability over the hold period. Vista Host has put in all the legwork overseeing the day-to-day operations of the hotel, ensuring efficient management, guest satisfaction, and profitability. Our Home2 Suites ranked #1 on TripAdvisor in Brandon, and with a 4.5 star on TripAdvisor and Google review, they clearly deliver a positive guest experience. In continuing our relationship with Vista Host, we can still identify opportunities to scale back on operational costs. Through these targeted management initiatives alone, we can improve the hotel's profitability and financial performance. Based on our benchmark report by CBRE, we found opportunities moderately reducing costs without any major disruption to business. How are we going to do that? Well, last year, nearly $36,000 was lost due to cardholder dispute transactions. With better enforcement and training to the hotel, and with our initiative to create a card fraud prevention program, we will be able to decrease our administrative and general expenses by 0.6%. We are also confident we will be able to reduce our front of house labor costs by 1% by developing efficient training schedules and matching labor capacity to meet demand periods, and leveraging full-time and part-time employees to optimize coverage. These are areas where we found opportunities to cut costs, process improvements, staffing optimization, and better revenue management. In our P&L research, we also found that the Home2 Suites market shop only has a profit margin of 26%. We can surely do better than that by eliminating slow-moving products and setting a markup price at least 50%. This is expected to increase our revenue by over 0.5%. Now you must be wondering, Crystal, this is a great deal, but how are we going to acquire this money for the $30 million purchase?
I got the spotlight. We got some difficulty with the technology here. Well, don't worry. We've partnered with the cornerstone of our Tampa Bay Financial, the Bank of Tampa, a key financial player in our community since 1984, to secure a loan reflecting our solid business plan and the market potential. Our debt equals to $21 million, which equals to 65% of our total project cost. The remaining 35% will come from equity with a 7.5 interest rate. And this step equity ensures a balanced financial approach and the bank's trust in our project. The Bank of Tampa is more than just a lender. It's a partner investing in our success, mirroring our commitment to the Tampa-based growth.
Now, moving forward to our final stage, and to reiterate, the projected exit strategy indicates a favorable return on investment. With an 8% exit cap, the projected 5-year hold period results in a 22.44% interest rate of return, an equity multiple of 2.46, and a cash-on-cash return of 11.86%. With the estimated sales price of $43.8 million, would result in a net proceed of $21.8 million. We identified an Apple Hospitality REIT as a potential buyer, given the financial strength, strategic fit, and advantageous transaction for both parties. The 5-year exit strategy stood as the optimal investment choice, maximizing returns and capitalizing in the short term with the upcoming renovation.
Thank you. We're honored to present you this opportunity today, and we're here to unlock new opportunities.
Great job. Vanessa. So now, what questions, judges, do you have for Ivory Key Ventures? Julian, you'll start?
I will start. Thank
Okay.
you. Great job, ladies. Very thorough. I actually wrote down a couple questions as I was looking at this, and then you addressed them during your speaking point, so I appreciate that. I did think that the PIP cost per room seemed low, but you articulated that you worked with Hilton closely on that. So that takes care of one question. The second is $267 a key. How does that compare to a new build replacement cost? Did you look at that?
Yes, it is a little bit higher than the new building. But now if you look at the market in Florida, Tampa, the cost of the land and given the current construction cost, there's new build in the area, first of all, in the next 5 years that we know that after doing the research. But also seeing that with our such a high income in revenue, it just kind of have to adjust to the price. If we're already making a lot of money in the property and it's cash flowing from day one, do you want to wait for another 2 years to build a new property? It have to adjust to the price. It is a little high, yes, but also we're in a great market and we're just keep the rise with the market, also decreasing our expense. Yeah.
Excellent, thank you.
Interestingly enough, we think alike, being a development person as well. Fantastic presentation. You got through the technology issues great. Just never let that stop you. But the PIP costs, again, I was going to go there as well. Have you had the opportunity to work with your management company options to work with their fees along with your franchisor?
So our management fee will stay the same, but as Vanessa mentioned earlier, we'll reduce the expense of the staffing. And we actually lost 3% of our contract business with the cruise line during COVID. So we're hoping to get that percentage back to extend our length of stay to reducing our staffing costs to get the cost back in that sense. Because we're ranked #1 and they're doing a great job trading our customers, we're going to continue working with them. But also there are also things that we can do to cut the cost. If you put $1 million with 8% cap, you will increase your end of sale, increase your resale price at end of the holding period. So it's also like adjust. We can do a different management company, but if they're doing great, we can make things work. For sure. Yeah.
Galen?
Yeah, so really great job in really digging into the details on the cost savings on the operations side and how you would be able to achieve both the revenue synergy and the cost. I just want just a point of clarification. The $1 million, what is the time period? Is that over the 5 years?
That's over the 5-year
It's
hold
over the
period.
5. Got
Yes.
it. And do you have a sense if, we can never know what the future is, but if those $1 million of cost savings potentially don't materialize, do you know what the impact on your IRR would be? I know it's a really technical question, but.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. We ran a few stress tests, and we found that our IRR would decrease by 100 basis points, so only about 1%, bringing it down to 21%.
Thanks.
Mary?
Yes, great presentation, very thorough. It was hard to find a lot of questions to ask because you answered them all for us. But just one question about the market. I noticed that your penetration for both occupancy and rate decreased in the projections. I just wanted to get a little color on kind of what was happening in the market landscape, if there were changes in the competitive set that you foresee to cause, a decrease in the index.
Right. So while we have a decrease in 24 and 25 because of our PIP that was put in place, and so that's a decrease in 24, but also there's a cap in the market. We can't charge more than a certain amount of money for home-to suites. Even though it's a great market, we can do as much as we could, but it's not possible. It's not feasible to do a 95% occupancy with a $240 ADR. It's just not feasible. So we wanted to present you with a system and that it makes sense, that's feasible, that it's actually working in the next 5 years, instead of saying we're going to just capture it at 95% occupancy and $240 ADR, which is not possible in the market. Yeah.
Ryan?
Sure. Great job. That was a wonderful presentation. And to piggyback off of that, so I'm the resident banker here, and I love numbers. So I was looking historically at there's a nice rebound coming out of COVID, and then, you see a decline in occupancy from 91% to 82 to 78.5, and then a subsequent decrease in RevPAR from 140, 134 to 98. So any understanding historically why those numbers are trending downward? And I understand what you're going to do to improve those, but I think from a banker's perspective, it's nice to understand what's happening, what's trending, and then, how you're going to get out of it.
Sure. So when did you see the decrease in occupancy? Was it in 2020, like this year? Because
looking at the historical figures that were input for 2022, occupancy was 91.3%, and then 2023.
So yes. So what contributed to the 91% occupancy? There were a lot of hurricanes going on, and the federal emergency.
It
was
FEMA.
FEMA, thank you. We large attribution to the 91% occupancy was business from FEMA, which added to the robust revenue that you saw there.
And we stabilized right around 85% occupancy, and that's what we're hoping to get. On top of the 3% of a contract business, we can work with that, like 88 to 90% occupancy moving forward.
Okay.
Maybe
Last
last question. One more. The returns here are great, and it's such a great asset, such a new asset. What is your confidence in your ability to be able to acquire this asset for the $30 million? It seems like this is an asset that the ownership would really hold dear, given the quality and projections and opportunity here.
Great question. So the owner are asking for $31 million. And there is an offer that was 28.5, I believe, just a couple weeks ago. They declined it. We did our market research. We think 30 million is a fair share. And we also know that
it was a built by a couple, and fortunately they're going through a hard time of their marriage. So they wanted to get it out and get the money, cash back flowing. So if we can make things work, we can promise that we're making this project open. Because their goal was to build to last. They didn't want to see this hotel going down or anything, because it was obviously a great asset. So by us just pitching the idea of we can get this work, we make this work, we spend a lot of time, investor time into the market to see what the hotel is going to look like. Pitching them the idea of that we wanted to make it better is, I think, a key, and also coupled with our reasonable selling price. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Well done, Ivory Key Ventures. Vanessa, Crystal, great job. You're going to head back and see Tejal for your interview.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Now comes your part. For the audience in the room and those watching on the stream, it's time to rate this pitch. Your rating will represent 5% of their final score. Use the QR code on the screen to rate Ivory Key Ventures right now. And every time you rate a pitch throughout the show, you will be entered to win one of our amazing door prizes. We have hotel stays, we have swag, and some other goodies. So, rate away. All right, Tejal, take it away.
All right, I'm here backstage with Crystal and Vanessa, who just pitched. All right, ladies, first pitch of the day. How are y'all feeling?
Great now. Nervous
Yes.
earlier. Such a relief, kind of a little euphoria coming out of the pitch. So.
Well, good. Well, now you can relax a little bit. You ladies did a fantastic job, and we're off to a great start. I'm a little bit curious on something. The one of the most beautiful things about She Has a Deal is that you have the opportunity to either pitch alone or with a team. And usually they're from the same college, but you two ladies, one's from George Mason and one is from South Carolina.
South Carolina.
South Carolina. So how did this partnership come about?
It was a mutual connection that connected us. That's why we see the hospitality world, it's such a big networking world, and it's so important when you go out and network people, because you never know who you're going to meet, and you never know who you're going to end up working with. So it's the beauty of networking.
Okay. And so were there any challenges that kind of came about? Because I'm assuming you two don't live in the same area. You're having to put this whole deal together. How was that process?
This is actually our second time meeting in person, Vanessa. Yeah. But think about it, during COVID, everybody's working online. You're going to have to adopt to this. And working remote, working after hours, it's actually better when you meet online, like in your pajamas at 10 o'clock at night. Sometimes you just have to make things work.
For sure. Well, congratulations again, ladies. You did a fantastic job, and we'll definitely catch up later tonight, or actually this afternoon at the luncheon.
For sure. Thank you.
So, as you all know, this fifth season of She Has a Deal would not have been possible without the support of our generous sponsors, including those who have been there with us since the very beginning. Please take a few moments to hear a few words from one of our founding sponsors, Hilton Hotels.
Our team members represent hundreds of nationalities and span multiple generations. We're dedicated to creating the best, most inclusive home away from home for all of our team members. We're doing this by listening and learning from our team members' unique perspectives and empowering our global team member resource groups, which build communities across the diverse segments of our team and share their unique perspectives as we design our business strategy. We're proud of the meaningful work we've done over the past decade and honored to have received recognition for our efforts. But we know there is more work to be done. We believe that Hilton is an engine of opportunity and a beacon of hope for everyone we serve. We're so appreciative of all our partners and our team members who are with us on this journey and look forward to our bright future together.
Welcome, everyone, to the Shad Talk table. I am so excited to be here. Joining us at the table, we have Morgan Mason, the 2022 Early Career winner. And we also have Jenny Jackman, who you met yesterday. And Jenny was a participant in Today's Woman in 2023. But I am very excited to have Nelson Migdal here from one of our sponsors, Greenberg Traurig. And Greenberg Traurig provides, they're one of our luminaries, and they provide all the legal type of education. So helping our participants learn how to close the deal, as well as do some due diligence. And so we really appreciate you, Nelson, for being here today. What are your impressions? I mean, this is your first She Has a Deal competition. What are your impressions of this team?
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for having me here. I'm usually not here because Samantha Ahuja, my partner, is here, and that's as it should be, as we all try and increase the number of women in hotel ownership. As the lawyer who typically represents the ownership, all of the people you're seeing today, and dealing with the hotel management companies and the brands, the extraordinary people who are in this room today, I thought the presentation was well done. I think it covered all of the key financial points that needed to be covered. And in a very quick word, I would encourage all of the folks who are presenting today and who are going forward to not only think about those financial projections, but psychologically understand that they have to really watch the money. As you know, the brands are going to help you with the guest experience and make the hotel successful. But everything that happens in that hotel is paid for by the owner. So it's really important to dig into the franchise documents, understand the application fees, and also dig into that management agreement. I didn't hear a lot about that due diligence, and there's a reason for that, because this pitch was a financial pitch, but it really is important to know what you're dealing with inside the legal documents, because if things don't go exactly according to plan, you may or may not be able to fix it the way you want to. But it was a great start for the morning, and I appreciate being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Nelson. So, Morgan, it's all about, part of the criteria is all about the due diligence and the projections. Tell me your thoughts, because I know you had some concerns about the projections.
Yes, I did. So I was just looking at their model. In 2019, I believe the subject property did a $99 RevPAR, and then also in 2022 or 2021, it was about $99 before they jumped up to that $140, and then I believe they were stabilizing around $156 RevPAR. So for me, when I see those big jumps, I'm a little bit concerned because I'm like, how are we going to get there, especially with a minimal PIP? So, and they're already doing so well in the market. I don't know how much more room they have to grow. So that was my concern when I was looking at the projections.
Yeah, one of the criteria for judging is, how are you going to create value? And so, Jenny, do you see or did you agree with their ability to be able to create value in this investment?
Maybe it's hello. I didn't turn it on. Anyway, so the numbers that they were projecting to reduce expenses, I thought were very reasonable. I questioned the PIP number, just because I've experienced that before. The size of the hotel, the fact that it's a home two, you've got kitchens, you've got a lot of wear and tear in home twos. The stays are a little bit longer, so 1.5 isn't that much spread over that number of rooms, and it's a 7-year PIP. You're going to get change of ownership PIP plus the other things that need to be done at 7 years. So I think it's going to be significantly more than 1.5.
Probably. Morgan, any final thoughts? We have a couple of seconds on their performance. How did they perform? That's a part of the...
Yes, I thought they did a great job for only having met twice in person, and I know how it feels to be up there, so great job to those ladies, because I know it is tough to be up there.
Thank you guys for joining the Shad Talk table. We'll be back after the next pitch. Thank you.
Coming up now, they're Boston Strong. MJL Hotels from Boston University is ready to impress.
Hi everyone, I'm Jenny Han and I'm from Boston University School of Hospitality.
Hi, I'm Leah Wilson. I am an early careerist and I'm from Boston University. Hi everyone, my name is Mayu. I'm coming from like a household where it's hard to like start a business for women.
SHaD made me realize that I have the power within me to do whatever I want to do.
I think for the three of us, we share the common goal of owning a hotel one day.
I would love to own boutique hotels, luxury hotels, but one thing that's been great about being involved with this competition is that it's really exposed me to all of the different asset classes that I could invest in.
I think the best part of this program is we're actually like working with my team.
Teamwork makes the dream work. It's been a lot of research, and so I definitely could not have done it without my two other team members.
I've been passionate about hotels since before I knew it. Some of those like very like family-oriented experiences I had were actually happening in hotels.
I just really love the environment of the hotel where people from all over the world come together and then just enjoy their time.
The program definitely changed me in a way that I became more confident or like brave in terms of seizing an opportunity or just like believing in myself that I can make it in the industry.
Get ready to check in as our next group presents their vision for a select service haven in the bustling Denver Tech Center. Welcome, Mayu Miyata, Jenny Han, and Leah Wilson.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. We are MJL Hotels. I'm Leah Wilson.
I'm Jenny Han.
I'm Maya Miata. We are from Boston University School of Hospitality Administration, and over the next 15 minutes, we are going to be sharing our deal with you, the Staybridge Suites Denver Tech Center. Next slide, please. This is our agenda for today. Thank you. This is our agenda for today, so let's get into it. The Staybridge Suites is a 128-key extended stay property in the Denver Tech Center submarket. It has a fee simple interest, and the total acquisition comes to $85,000 per key. For this property, we believe that we can negotiate the purchase price to roughly $9 million, and per key, that's just about $70,000, meaning this hotel is being offered significantly below replacement cost. As this hotel underwent a renovation in 2020, our estimated PIP costs come to $1 million, and per key, that's $8,000. With closing cost of $855,000, our total acquisition comes to $10.85 million. For this hotel, we plan to bring in a local management company who has experience with extended stay properties in the Denver market. We plan to cluster our overhead expenses, and we plan to negotiate the franchise fee with the franchisor so that we can focus on attaining a deeper market penetration. With a 5-year holding period, our IRR would be 36.6% with an equity multiple just under 4 and an average cash-on-cash return of 21.8%. So let's dive into the brand and property overview. The Staybridge Suites is an all-suite residential-style hotel. There are currently 325 hotels open with 164 in the pipeline. Staybridge is part of the globally renowned brand IHG Hotels and Resorts, who has over 6,300 hotels open worldwide with more than 100 million IHG One Reward members. This is great because it's going to help drive more direct booking to our hotel to help reduce our hotel's cost of customer acquisition. Both Staybridge and IHG are currently underrepresented in the Denver Tech Center market, and we believe that gives us a potential to attract more demand. Those photos you just saw are photos of the property currently as is. This hotel was built in 1999, and as I mentioned earlier, had undergone a renovation in 2020, so a minimal PIP will be required upon acquisition. This hotel has a fee simple interest and is unencumbered of management. The 128 keys break down into 57 king suites, 62 queen suites, and 9 double queens. Each room comes equipped with full kitchen. Additional features include 382 square feet of meeting space, an outdoor pool, a fitness center, and a dining room for complimentary breakfast, which, according to a survey done by Business Media Travel Weekly, breakfast was the top amenity guests looked at when looking to book a select service stay, which I don't know about any of you guys, but I love breakfast, so I'd probably be one of those guests too. This hotel's gross building area is 76,000 square feet. It sits on 4.2 acres and has 133 parking spaces. Just to go over the property improvement plan that's expected when this hotel is acquired, there will be functional and infrastructure upgrades such as replacing the wall-mounted fire extinguisher and the maintenance and engineering areas, as well as providing a baby changing table in the public restrooms. The aesthetic enhancements include retouching the wall finishes as well as replacing the furniture and artwork in both the guest rooms as well as the public spaces. And the safety improvements just include repairing or refreshing any corner guards, any damaged ceiling tiles, or any electrical outlets that are damaged. These photos were actually taken by Mayu when she visited the property just a few weeks ago. Now I'm going to pass it on to Jenny, who's going to go over our competitive market.
Thank you, Leah. So our competitive set consists of extended stay hotels with an average room count of 140 and being built in the 90s. Major brands such as Residence Inn, Homewood Suites, La Quinta Inn & Suites, Tom Place Suites, as well as Hyatt House are represented in the market. There are only 2 new developments underway, and it is the 175-key Residence Inn Stonebridge opening in 2025, as well as the Woodspring Suites with the 122-key opening in 2026. While the competitive hotels do offer similar amenities, we have the most upgraded product due to the recent renovation, as well as the PIP that we're going to do once we acquire the hotel. So now with the competitive landscape in mind, let's dive into some opportunity for upside. As you can see here, in the past 5 years, we noticed a significant upward trend in our average rate index, which indicates lots of growing potential for revenue. However, this has not translated into market dominance. As you can see, our key challenge here is that our market penetration index has been declining consistently year over year, and that has resulted in our RevPAR index to decline from 2022 to 2023. However, we do believe that there's an opportunity for us to improve our performance since we used to outperform in all 3 matrices, as you can see in the green box. But as of right now, in 2023, our market penetration index is 94%, and our RevPAR index is also below our submarket. Now I'm going to pass on to Mayu. Although the performance has been a little less than the market, we still have strong faith in the market in general.
Thank you, Jenny. So this hotel is located in a growing submarket, in a growing city, in a growing state. Colorado is ranked as the 5th best for business, and then Denver is the 6th fastest growing city in the country. Moreover, Denver is home to 10 500 Fortune companies, 4 of which are in this Denver Tech Center. Finally, our research suggests that this Denver Tech Center has a high potential to grow over the next 5 years because of the existing demand and the new developments underway. Situated next to I-25 interchange and benefiting from the expansion of the RTD rail, this hotel offers an easy access to and from downtown Denver, both by the car and train. However, we would like to emphasize the fact that this Denver Tech Center itself has a steady demand due to the nearby attractions, including the San Diego Airport, the NFL Bronco Camp, which will add $175 million facility expansions by 2026, and then the largest Denver amphitheater, the Fiddler Green Amphitheater. Most importantly, Denver Tech Center is an active corporate market and home to more than 1,000 major companies such as Boeing, Comcast, Central Health, Zoom, and others. The great news is that this hotel is located less than 10 minutes away from these companies, generating significant commercial demand for the market and a subject property. Our growing demand is supported by the growing number of annual travelers coming to the Denver International Airport. According to its official website, it was ranked as the 3rd busiest airport in the United States, achieving 27.6% increase between 2018 and 2023, and expects to grow with the additional gate expansions in the future. According to the latest office report from CBRE, the vacancy rate for the Denver Tech Center in 2023 was 16.5%, which is still in the recovery process from the pandemic, but the lowest compared to the national and in Denver downtown number. Moreover, according to 2024 first quarter report from CBLE, the leasing activity in Denver Southeast area, including Denver Tech Center, has been increasing 21% quarter over quarter, indicating that more tenants are beginning to execute their lease agreement once again. So according to our research, this Denver Tech Center has been transforming to a live, work, play community with new retail offices and residential developments underway. About 2 miles north, 6 minutes away from our hotel, the nonprofit company Junior Achievement, which recently moved their headquarters to this area, will launch an in-person program called Dream Accelerator, which expects to reach additional 90,000 students for financial literacy and entrepreneurial lessons by 2025. Most importantly, one of the most significant commercial development in this area is the 1-7 at the Bellevue station, which is only 8 minutes away from our hotel. This is a large mixed-use hotel, not large mixed development with 250 units of residential across 17 levels, over 7,400 square feet of retail space, and in 318,000 square feet of office space. This development have led many corporations to move their office or even headquarters to this Bellevue station, seeking bustling and innovative house for the professional, bringing thousands of employees. For example, the Vectra Bank, which operates under the National Bank Zion, announced to move their headquarters to this area by investing $67 million, bringing hundreds of employees and generating greater demands for the large meetings. Additionally, the private capital fund administrator Gen 2 will move in their new large office space, which is about 73,000 square feet. They plan to have a training center there where they host events and a boot camp that will generate greater demands for the professionals. These are some of the examples of continued popularity of the Denver Tech Center, and then bode well for the future performance of the hotels located here, especially our subject property. Now I pass on to Jenny to talk about the value enhancement.
Thank you, Mayu. So to better capture the incoming demand that Mayu discussed, we plan on bringing in a seasoned management company who's local to Denver to help us implement our key value enhancement strategies. On top of that, we're also going to improve our hotel condition by the $1 million PIP, and we plan for the hotel to stay open during that process to continue generating cash flow. Five Senses will be our potential management company. Five Senses is a Denver-based management company that focuses on select service as well as extended stay properties. Founders Jeff Blackman and Chris Manley have over 60 years of combined hotel and real estate experience. Currently, they also do not operate any other hotel in the Denver Tech Center market, so that prevents any conflict of interest. To achieve improved results, we proposed these three key initiatives. First, our goal is to increase our average length of stay from a current 4.2 nights to our average about 7 to 10 nights. To achieve this, we plan on targeting the construction workers working on the new developments, people relocating to the area, as well as the corporate clients. Secondly, we would like to increase our outbound sales initiative by hiring a sales representative dedicated to building relationship with the corporate clients and travel agencies. Lastly, we need to manage our revenue and expenses effectively. And based on Five Senses benchmark performance, I believe that they can help us achieve our goals. So, what are our goals? As you can see here, we plan on stabilize our operation at year 3 with the market penetration index at 102%, AR at 106%, and RPI at 104%. And also the projected occupancy and ADR on the screens here. In addition, given the strength of the current market, we would like to significantly increase our revenue from the $3.5 million in 2023 to a $4.3 million at year 3. In addition, with the help of Five Senses, we believe we can increase our GOP margin from the 48.5% to the 55% in year 3, which is a 35% improvement. With the help and guidance of Five Senses, we'll work to streamline our operation, reduce costs while not sacrificing our quality. With the value enhancement strategy in mind, let's go over the projected exit for this deal. So for this deal, we will be taking a senior loan that's 65% of our capital stack, while asking you, our investors for $3.8 million. With the projected cap rate at 9%, our projected sales price will be $17.25 million, with a closing cost of around $345,000. Our principal due on the mortgage will be $6.7 million, and that brings our net proceeds to about $10 million. To recap our deal, we plan on holding the ShaDPitch Suite Denver Tech Center for 5 years, achieving a 37% leverage IRR, almost 4x equity multiple, as well as 22% average cash-on-cash return. And for investors, your yearly cash flow are projected here on the screens, averaging about $750,000 a year. And when we do sell the property in year 5, our investors are expected to take home $7.5 million. That's achieving 29% IRR and almost 3x equity multiple. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed our pitch, and we're now open to questions.
Okay, so $3.6 million in the city that gets 300 days of sunshine. I think it's a deal. So judges, who would like to start off our questions? Okay.
That was a wonderful presentation. I know you mentioned in 2023 that the asset was underperforming in certain categories compared to the market set. Could you kind of talk to those contributing factors that resulted in the underperformance?
So yes, so currently this hotel is managed and owned by this hotel group, and they don't have any other properties in the Denver Tech Center or even Denver, if you say. So they used to kind of outperform the market in some matrices, like I mentioned, but since they took over from 2018, they kind of, I think they're a little less experienced than 5 Senses or Stonebridge, so that has been resulting in the underperformance. Yeah.
Thank you, Ryan. Galen?
Just a follow-up with that to build on the question about historical versus where maybe you would take this asset going forward. Is there, or I have an assumption that there's a relationship between price and demand, and the more you push the price, maybe the fewer customers you get. And how do you balance that out in what your forecast looks like? It looks like you're going up in both. So how do you think about that dynamic?
Yes. So currently our ARI is already outperforming the market, so we have a great price. So our mean attendance and things like that, those would increase our occupancy relatively significantly, and but maintaining our average daily rate.
And also to add on that, in terms of the market, there are a lot of developments coming in, and then our hotel is closest to the San Diego airport, which will add additional food company headquarters, and then they're building the food hall. So I believe that they're gonna bring the building construction companies, and we can negotiate for the contract agreements.
Julian?
A couple questions for you. Great presentation, thank you. And go Terriers, although I won't be biased in my scoring here. The RevPAR is not back to pre-pandemic RevPAR, right? Performance. And the sales price is quite low relative to replacement costs. So tell us more about the micro location and any concerns you have about the Denver Tech Center being able to recover.
I think, as Mayu just said, there are companies coming back in, and the office vacancy, obviously an office vacancy rate of 16% isn't great, but it's performing better than downtown Denver. So with the new companies coming in, we project that that is going to help our demand come back for the hotel. And
RevPAR may not necessarily go back to pre-pandemic level, but that's a market-wide situation. Right. But we believe that with the PIP and the new management company, we can at least bring that performance better than our current comp set. Yeah.
Wonderful. Matt?
Two questions, and they're different. You talk about the brand, IHG, phenomenal company, great brand, ShaDPitch Suites. I've watched it grow over my career as well. You mentioned earlier about the business mix or the reservation. Can you tell me where the brand contribution is coming from today? Is it direct? Is it third party? national account business, and how will you move that needle?
Yeah, so I believe the they're bringing, I think 40% direct bookings are from HG platform. That's mostly still transient at this point. So we want to get the sales representative on site and doing the cold calls, building the relationships so that we can get more group and contract business.
Excellent. And then the reason why we're here, how is your investor structure set up? Are you looking for a certain few, or is it basically come on in and bring your money?
Come on in and bring your money.
I love it. Thank you.
I love it. Mary?
Yes, great job.
Thank
Go
you.
Boston. Yay. I won't be biased. So, quick question on your exit price. What did you look at when determining the price per key on exit? Do you have some comps?
Yeah, so we based it on our cap. The projected cap rate is around 9%. That's verified with a couple of business intelligence report, and then with our NOI a certain amount, which I can't think of the top of my head, but with that, that's how we did the calculation for the projected sales price.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Judges, any other questions before we let them go? No?
Thank you so much.
Boston love. Great job, ladies. While you all head backstage to Tejal, I want to remind everyone in the audience and also watching on the stream, including my mom, it's time to rate this pitch. So your ranking will represent 5% of their final score with you. Every time I've gone there, it snowed. And the last time I was there, it was so cold that my eyelashes stuck together. So we'll see how Denver works out. At the end of the show, don't forget, those of you who have voted, you will have the opportunity to go back in and vote on your favorite pitch for the Viewer's Choice Award. And every time you rate and vote, you will be entered to win one of our amazing door prizes. So there are hotel points from IHG and also Choice Hotels. So great properties around the world. All right, Tejal, take it away.
All right. Thanks so much, Renisha. I'm here backstage with our trio of the day, ladies. How'd y'all do?
I think we did pretty well.
Yeah, we're pretty confident.
Yeah, I feel great.
Happy dances before the pitch.
Yeah.
What kind of dances?
Little happy dances. We
Yeah,
were so
like-
excited.
Okay. Well, maybe you can give us a demonstration at the reception.
Totally.
Question. So earlier, Tracy had touched upon the luminaries that get to come and speak at the master classes. Is there a specific luminary that stuck out to you three? And how did their knowledge share impact your deal presentation?
Wow, that's a great question. I mean, all of the luminaries, at least for me, were very influential, sitting on Zoom, learning everything. I would say Sophia was very helpful. She reviewed the deals that she's doing with Hunter Hotels. And
Yeah.
I found that very helpful. We actually found our hotel through Hunter, so.
Yes, and also like the master class with the tax and insurance really opened our eyes, because tax and insurance were kind of like on the back of our mind. We know we have to get to it, but then once they taught that class, we immediately realized the importance and start our research right away.
And what about you?
I really enjoy every master classes, because I really didn't take that kind of class before, and then that was such a good opportunity not only to learn about the investment itself, but also connect with the industry professionals. So it was such an amazing experience.
Well, amazing. Well, congratulations again, ladies. Now you can totally relax, and we'll hopefully see you later at the lunch.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you so
All
much.
All right. So next we have a few words from one of our empowering and inspiring sponsors, IHG Hotels and Resorts.
I turn it up another notch. I rock it out and make it hot. I spike the punch and make it pop. Don't stop. Living my best life. Living my best life. Do what I feel like. Living my best life.
IHG One Rewards, 19 hotel brands, 6,000 global destinations, one loyalty program that lets you guest how you guest.
Oh, we got 5 minutes still? Ooh. Hey, welcome back to the Shad Table Talk. We have some more alum joining us today. We have Lauren Graff, who's back from yesterday, and Monica Moss-Gransberry, as well as Morgan Mason. Hey, ladies.
Hi.
So, Denver Tech Center. You know, I used to work in healthcare, and when I left the company, they moved to the Denver Tech Center. So I know that Denver area pretty well. So, Monica, you had some concerns or you had some thoughts about that market analysis. That's a big part of the criteria to win this
Yeah,
thing.
so I thought they did a great job with their market analysis. They really seem to understand the market. It's a growing market, so I feel very favorable about their ability to generate new business. I like the strategy of focusing on new residents who'll need a place to stay while they're figuring out where they're going to live.
All right, so we take that market analysis intel and we take it into our due diligence. And so being able to project that P&L is critical to calculate that return on investment. So Morgan, I mean, you're my numbers woman, so tell me about those expenses. How well did they project? How realistic are their numbers?
Yes, so there are a couple things that caught my eye that I was like, we might want to think about this. Their rooms expense historically was around 30% plus, but they're expecting to drop in year 1 to 20%. And maintain that moving forward. And we know that takes a lot to drop that much. So that's maybe something I would think about. And the other expense that stood out was their real estate expense, which historically had been over $350,000, but they were dropping to $250 in year 1 and maintaining around there. So I think those are two things that will really impact the return on investment if that does not play out that way.
Well, I mean, they went to the class with the luminary on the taxes. They must have a strategy. They must have a strategy. Lauren, what do you think? What do you think about the expense projections?
Yeah, I noticed a similar thing to Morgan. I think I saw a 55% margin on GOP, which seems really high, but it seems like, I love that they visited the property. I think that's awesome. And bringing in this new management company, hopefully they are able to drop those expenses, but I just thought that margin seemed a little high.
A little aggressive to make
Yeah,
it
they're very aggressive. I saw some of their earlier numbers, and I was glad to see they became more realistic by the pitch.
But it's a stay bridge, y'all. It's a stay bridge.
I
Extended
know,
stay.
it just makes money,
Can't
right?
Those margins? No? Well, let's move on to the return on investment.
I think us as a panel, we're very conservative with numbers.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
you got to take that into consideration.
We are conservative. As an operator, I am too. But things are possible. Let's talk about the return on investment. I thought it was looking a little juicy, and I'm not sure if it's realistic. So tell me what you guys think. Morgan, you start.
Yeah, no, I like I said, I think it is juicy, but those 2 points that I made, they're really going to have to hit those rooms expense declines, and then also, again, if those real estate taxes don't pan out that way, I think that's what's really going to bring that down. Those were the two things.
Yeah, I think it's aggressive. I'd rather, from my point of view, I'd rather overperform than underperform. So I tend to want to go a little bit more conservative so that my investors really get a boost and like a little gift when the returns are better than they're saying, well, I thought we were going to get 36.
You like to sandbag, basically.
Oh, girl, don't put it like that. No, I'm from Louisiana. We like a little lanyard, a little something extra.
Well, with the 9% cap rate, is that realistic in that Denver market? Is anybody familiar with the Denver market? I think a 9 is pretty realistic.
Yeah, I agree. I thought 9% was realistic. I'm not familiar with the cap rates there, but I don't think that seems too aggressive.
Yeah, it seemed very conservative.
Yeah, they did apply our sponsor, CoStar or Star data to come up with that cap rate for the market. So the key is going to be for them to be able to hit the net operating income targets, because we all know that if you want to maximize the value of the asset, you have to maximize the net operating income. And I drive that into them every day during our coaching sessions. Any last thoughts, ladies? How about their performance? How would you rate their performance?
I thought they were very confident and used each other well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially in the Q&A.
Yeah, I thought they did excellent. They sounded very confident.
Well,
and they answered all the questions.
Yeah, a large part of persuading investors is how confident you are with your deal, and they were all confident.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies. Okay, so we're going to move on to our third pitch of the day. Thank you for joining the Shad Talk table. We'll be back after pitch 3.
Okay, so we're ready to go green. Representing the Big Ten and Michigan State University, here is Red Cedar Commercial Real Estate.
Hi, my name is Abby Mary.
Hi, my name is Emily, and I'm from Michigan State University. My long-term goals are to be somewhere in real commercial brokerage, and I really do like the hospitality sector.
I want to get into commercial brokerage, and what Shad really brought for me was a network. I learned so much from calling the brokers, trying to source deals.
I think the most significant thing that I've learned is being able to look at a market and tell what tells a hotel apart from the ones around it and makes it stand out.
Michigan State likes to pair a hospitality student with a finance student, which is our team, and it's really worked out perfectly because we can complement each other so well, and we've both learned so much from the program but also each other because we bring in kind of both aspects of this competition and have grown individually and as a team.
Red Cedar Commercial Real Estate is delving into a newer version of the extended stay niche in Phoenix, Arizona. Welcome, Emily Marlowe and Abby Mary.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for being here with us today. We are Red Cedar Commercial Real Estate, and we're excited to introduce you to a water walk extended stay by Wyndham located in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm Abby Mary, a junior from Heartland, Michigan, which is about here on the mitten, and I'm studying finance and real estate at Michigan State University.
And I'm Emily Marlowe, a junior from Algonac, Michigan, which is about here on the mitten, and I'm studying hospitality business. Before we get started today, we'd like to give you an overview of everything we'll be diving in with our property. To kick things off, we'll go through our investment summary and our proposal hotel. From there, we'll tell you why we chose Waterwalk Hotels and Concord Hospitality. And then we'll dive into our market analysis, demand generators, our strategic financial package, and at the end, we'll give you time to answer any questions you may have.
So I just want to break down this investment. It's a great acquisition opportunity available for $30.2 million. We're expecting no product improvement plans as this is a brand new hotel. We are anticipating closing costs at around $1.2 million, bringing the total capital investment to $31.4 million. This is about $250,000 per key, which is comparable to other upscale properties within Phoenix. I also want to highlight that we plan to hold the property for 5 years, generating an internal rate of return of 18.39%. This Waterwalk property has 126 keys and is located in the booming North Happy Valley submarket of Phoenix. 50 of these keys are live and 76 of these keys are stay, which we'll be explaining in future slides. This is a brand new upscale extended stay property opened in February of last year. And it includes a swimming pool, an upscale modern gym, as well as Jack's Place Market, which is named after Jack DeBoer, who founded 5 successful extended stay brands. Of these 5 brands, Waterwalk was his favorite, and this is because of the unique live-stay model. With 50 live units and 76 stay units, there's something for everyone with Waterwalk. Live is more of an apartment-style room. It comes unfurnished, and the average stay length is about 400 nights. Stay is your more traditional extended stay hotel room that comes fully furnished, full service, and is about 100 nights for our average stay. Both rooms include in-room laundry, spacious kitchen, included utilities and amenities, as well as very modern and sleek finishes. As you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, the in-room laundry is really a key to Waterwalk hotels. Extended stay travelers aren't packing an outfit for every night. They need something really convenient, such as a washer and dryer in their room, along with these spacious kitchens. As you can see, this is what sets Waterwalk apart from other extended stay hotels. Moving into Waterwalk, the brand, as well as Concord Hospitality, our chosen management company. WaterWalk has recently partnered with Wyndham, which is one of the largest hotel companies in the world with over 9,200 properties. They also have a strong regional presence in Phoenix, and we think that Wyndham will be able to bring a strong reward system because they have over 108 million loyal guests. Additionally, they have convenient booking systems which will lower our OTA expenses and drive occupancy. WaterWalk itself is at the forefront of flexible lodging. Their live-stay model caters perfectly to the modern traveler and provides stability for investors with the multifamily portion. Concord Hospitality is our chosen management company as their core values align perfectly with the WaterWalk brand strategy. Additionally, they operate 45 extended stay hotels currently, with 5 more in the pipeline, and we are confident that they will be able to drive our occupancy, ADR, RevPAR, as well as minimize our costs. I'll now be passing things over to our market expert, Emily.
Diving into our market, our property is located in the North Happy Valley market, which is a submarket of Phoenix. This market is a growing market and has booming population, currently being ranked by CoStar in the top 4 of all U.S. markets. This market is also great for that it has decreasing multifamily cap rates and stable occupancy in the hospitality sector, along with low vacancy in the multifamily sector. Our target demographic within this market is business travel along with multi-corporation travel, students and internships, and remote workers. This is suitable to all these demographics as our live-stay model allows flexibility with the amount of time they would like to stay and doesn't require them to sign into a 12-month lease. Nearby in this market, we have many big upcoming developments. One of our major ones being the Taiwanese Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, also known as TSMC. This company is currently undergoing a $65 billion expansion with their third plant that's being built, and they make chips for Apple and NVIDIA. This is a great driver for not only the 10,000 construction jobs that it's bringing to the area, but also for multinational extended stay travelers. With them currently, we have a contract for 30 units for their employees, a combination of both live and stay, and their property is only an 11-minute drive from WaterWalk Hotels. Another big development we have nearby is the MAC Innovation Park. This is expected to be opening this month, and we'll have over 800 square feet of space available for renters to rent out for different corporations, and this will only be a 1-minute drive from WaterWalk. Now let's dive into our demand generators in this market. In our market, we have 3 main categories: corporate, leisure, and airports. For corporate, this is our largest driver for extended stay, with over 70,000 businesses in the area and over 1 million employees. For leisure, our main 2 drivers are golf and retail. And for airports, we have 3 nearby locally. As you can see on the map, I would like to reference our slide that we are far from short of corporate demand. WaterWalk is right in the center of a lot of corporate demand, and I would like to highlight a few major ones, including USAA, Axon, Honeywell, as well as Xerox. This is a great driver for our area. Moving into leisure, as I mentioned before, golf and retail are our 2 big leisure drivers. For golf, we have many PGA, LPGA professional course managers, including 3 9-hole courses and 5 18-hole courses, and this is a $4.6 billion industry per year. As far as retail in the Happy Valley market, retail is booming. Currently, there are 9 major retail developments in Phoenix, including 2.2 million square feet of space under construction and an additional 3.6 million also proposed. This is in response to the massive population growth that I mentioned before. Again, I would like to reference our slides. On this map, we have retail highlighted in purple, which is all shopping centers. Golf is highlighted in green, and attractions such as Six Flags and event centers are highlighted in orange. Moving into our competitive set and properties in the pipeline, as you can see on the slides, while our comp set is relatively branded, it is also relatively small. We chose this comp set based on their proximity and brand offerings. And for hotels in the pipeline, currently there is an Element, a Home2, and a Staybridge Suites. However, out of all of these, the only one currently under construction is Home2, and they're supposed to be expected to be opening sometime this month. I would now like to pass things back to our financial professional, Abby.
All right, as you can see on the slide, this is an overview of our pro forma. What I really want to highlight here is net operating income increasing year over year. Our hotel is still ramping, but after year 3 of stabilization, we are still expected to grow pretty significantly. I'm going to start off with our 76 stay units. We based our market performance on the competitive set that Emily mentioned, and as you can see, they have not only reached but surpassed pre-COVID levels in terms of occupancy, ADR, and RevPAR. Occupancy came in strong in 2023 at about 83%, and ADR at about $155. The Waterwalk Hotel, in its first year of operation, came in at about 70% for occupancy and $130 for ADR, which is very strong considering this was its first 11 months of operation. We project that in 2026, our stabilization year, occupancy will be around 89%, and that our ADR will grow by about 3% per year, which is for inflation. This will put us at about 104% of the market in terms of occupancy. We're confident in this number because this is an extended stay hotel. Our new partners with Wyndham, as well as our management company, Concord Hospitality, and the fact that there are only 76 labeled stay units, which is significantly smaller than our competitive set. Additionally, ADR and RevPAR will come in at 95% and 98% respectively, which is great considering that this is such a long-term stay and we have a very strong branded competitive set. Moving into our 50 live units, there are 36 one-bedroom and 14 two-bedroom units within this Waterwalk property, and their rental rates are calculated on a square footage basis. This comes from the Phoenix multifamily market for 4-star apartments and is then upcharged by 160% for utilities and amenities because these are included within the rent and not on usage base. We project that vacancy will be consistent around 5%, a pretty conservative number, because this has been about average for Phoenix within the last 5 years. Additionally, we expect our rent to grow by about 3.5% year over year, and both of these numbers are consistent with CoStar data for the Phoenix multifamily market. I want to highlight before we move on that we did receive the Q1 earnings report this morning, and we are exceeding all of these projections for this year. Moving into financing, we spoke to Huntington Bank, which is the current lender on the property, as well as a financer of many other Waterwalk properties. We've selected a senior loan structure for them with a 25-year amortization period, 12 months of which are interest only, and it will have an interest rate of about 7.8%, which is the overnight financing rate plus 250 basis points. In addition to third-party financing, we will be bringing $50,000 as the sponsor and asking our equity partners for $17.2 million. This will cover the purchase price, the closing costs, and again, will bring our total capital investment to $31.4 million. I want to highlight 18.39% in the center of this screen. This is what we are projecting as our return for this investment at a $30.2 million purchase price and a 7% exit cap. We are confident in 7% because of Phoenix market trending that way. Additionally, the multifamily component adds a ton of stability to this project. 21% is where we'll be with a lower purchase price and a 6.5% exit cap, and 15% is where we'll be with a higher purchase price and a 7.5% exit cap.
As I'm sure you can agree from everything we've gone through today, this water walk in Phoenix is a great opportunity for investment and opportunity to join the growing extended stay market. With lower risk due to water walks, multifamily component, positive IRRs, and consistent cash flows, this is an extraordinary property and opportunity. We would now like to thank you for your time, along with answer any questions you may have.
Okay, so $17.2 million in a city that is one of the few that have all 4 sports teams. Seems like a deal. Mary, what do you think?
Sure, so great job, great presentation, love the pink. How did you come up with water? With oh my gosh, excuse me, water works.
Water walk.
Water park. Right. Water walk. Excuse me.
Can
Yes.
I get it just as the Wyndham representative
Yes.
here? Water walk, which we are very excited about.
Yes.
Water walk, absolutely.
It was recently announced. I
And
mean, it's
recently
so
announced,
new.
absolutely.
So how did you know about it and be able to do all this when it was just announced?
Yeah, of course. So I can take this one. So our professor sits on the board for Water Walk and he's a huge mentor to us. So he proposed this off-market deal to us, and we went from there. And then in addition to that, I grew up in the generation of Zach and Cody. They lived in a hotel, and so growing up, that was always my dream. And extended stay didn't exist then, and now it does. And so now that dream as a kid is actually a reality for people.
I love that answer.
Can I have a follow-up? Of course. Can you please explain to me what the requirements are for the live portion? Are there minimum lengths of stay that are required?
No minimum length of stay, but it is charged as a monthly rent, so you can't stay for less than a month, essentially, which obviously you wouldn't want to because they're unfurnished. So you would want to stay for longer than that, but they are on a monthly basis, so you pay rent based on how long you stay.
I'd like to build on that question because I'm curious about the brand as well. If they're unfurnished, that probably means they can't be put in, the live piece can't be put into the stay piece of inventory, so you can't sell them as rooms, right?
Correct, yes.
So even if, as an owner, if you wanted to furnish them, could you put them in the stay?
They're built very similarly, so if you did furnish them, you could put them into stay, but in our model and in the Water Walk models, they do separate them out by live and stay.
And then I have a couple more questions that are completely different. You mentioned that TSMC is going to come into the market, and you were looking at that as a pretty good demand generator for the hotel. When is that going to be complete?
So they've already started their first 2 plants. They just recently announced that 3rd plant within the past 2 months. And so that first plant is completely finished, and then from there, those other 2 plants are under construction.
Okay.
It's a 3-phase project, so they are completing it in steps, but it should be done by the end of our 5-year hold period, so it'll contribute over that.
Okay, great. And then as you were articulating the senior debt that you're going to place on the hotel, I was surprised at the length of the amortization period and wondering, is that in line with the length of the franchise agreement, or is the franchise agreement shorter? And tell me more about that time period.
No, it's not in line. That was from Huntington, who does many deals with Water Walk. I'm not entirely familiar with the exact franchise agreement length at this time, but it should, it's the longer, but they finance many Water Walks, so that longer amortization period is pretty standard for Huntington.
And that was like the amortization he gave us based on seeing our pro forma.
Thank you. Very good.
Thanks, Julian. Matt?
Great job, by the way, and the real happy valley is in Pennsylvania. The other Big Ten team, thank you. Just a quick question. You mentioned partnered with Wyndham. Not a legal expert, I'm not an attorney, and I never played one on television, but legal people will say, be careful with using the term partnering with your franchisor. So what do you mean by partner?
So we spoke to Water Walk representatives, and that was the exact verbiage that they suggested we use, as opposed to acquisition or acquired.
Okay, so you're actually, though, going to be a franchisee managed by Concord. Is that the understanding?
Yes.
Then one other quick question about the golf industry. Live is longer, stay is quicker, right? So it's shorter, and it's 100 days?
Average, yep.
Average. So do the golfers come in town because they live in a cold weather climate and stay for 100 days?
Exactly. I mean, winter is our peak period, so.
So a lot of professionals, amateurs, aspiring to be professional, come to that location and work their magic.
Correct.
Yes.
Very
Those are what we
interesting.
call our snow fleers. So they flee the snow, they go stay in for whatever period of time they'd like. And obviously our model allows them to stay for that shorter amount of time than a 12 month.
Thank you.
Galen?
And again, full transparency as the Wyndham rep here, I am excited about Waterwalk, but no bias in the outcome, of course. I wanted to just get your thoughts. You mentioned that multifamily or residential cap rates and part of your market analysis and understanding. How did that factor into your exit strategy? Did that come into your analysis on cap rates, multiples? What's your thoughts there?
Yeah, so when looking at an exit strategy, there's a few different ways a buyer could go. You could either exit out and have that option of going the multifamily route, selling it as an apartment, or the flexibility of Waterwalk also offers for you to sell it as a Waterwalk or just a regular hotel. So there's a lot of flexibility when it comes to that exit, which is a really great way for going about that.
Maybe just a quick follow-up, just as between those two camps. If you're a hotel investor, I assume there's one kind of cap rate. If you're a residential investor, there's another kind of cap rate.
Mhm.
What's the difference between those two? I mean, generally as hotel investors, this other camp may not be, front and center for us.
I can take that. So I have an appendix. Hopefully they can put it up on the screen. But so multifamily cap rates are obviously significantly lower than hospitality. Waterwalk hotels, because it's a combination, frequently sell between 4 and 6% for cap rates, which is obviously much lower than especially today's hospitality market. So as you can see, the multifamily cap rates within Phoenix are well below 7%, which is kind of how we just bring down the cap rate, because obviously like 40% of our hotel does operate on the multifamily market. So it's somewhat of an average, but yeah.
Ryan?
Sure. Great job, ladies. Can you talk a little bit more about the occupancy going up to 87% compared to where it is today? Just looking at the comp set that you put up, I don't think it met those metrics historically, so a little bit of background on that.
Yeah, so because the stay length is so long, Waterwalks do typically go at that occupancy. And just for reference, our occupancy for Q1 of our obviously second year of operation, and the projections up there were for 2025, which would be next year, they were operating between 77 and 97 for stay in Q1 this year. So we are confident in those numbers.
Amazing. Any other questions, judges? No? Okay. Red Cedar, great job. I'm going to have you head on back to Tejal. Okay, the QR code is up, so that means it's time for everyone to evaluate Red Cedar. Remember, every time you evaluate a team, you are entered into the raffle. And with that, Tejal, take it away.
Well, that was a very interesting project. I got to tell you, I was sitting back here scribbling down notes because, like, Waterwalk, what? So, hi, ladies. How are y'all feeling?
We're feeling great.
Feeling good.
Good. Well, let's just jump into it. So, in the plethora of brands that we have that are coming out, why this specific concept? You could have chosen dual brand, but you chose a dual accommodation model.
Yeah, so we know extended stay has been really popular in today's market in hospitality, but we wanted to find something that kind of set us apart a little bit, and we think that Waterwalk with this live stay model is catering perfectly to the modern traveler. People are really prioritizing travel post-COVID, and we want to make sure that, our hotel has a place for them.
And what do you find to be the most unique or the most exciting part about this project and the market?
I think the most exciting part about this project and market is not only is the Phoenix market booming so much, but this Waterwalk Hotel has such a unique offering that I think it's really exciting to go along with it.
And I believe both of you had mentioned in the beginning that you both are juniors in college.
Correct.
So being juniors, you still have your degrees to complete. Why pursue hotel ownership now?
We were introduced to the She Has a Deal competition, and we knew that it would really expand our knowledge, whether, we wanted to go into hotel ownership or even a career path or both. And so we've learned so much from this experience and wouldn't trade it for the world.
And what about you?
For me, I only have a year left in my degree before I kick things off and go into my career. So, why not start early and get things rolling?
Got to start young, right? Well, congratulations, ladies. Phenomenal job, and we'll catch up with you ladies later.
Thanks.
Thanks.
All right. The Women Own the Room program by Wyndham just recently surpassed over 50 signings. Here's more from one of our incredible sponsors, Wyndham's Women Own the Room.
The story starts with my mother, who had a business when women didn't have a business. And I can remember going to the bank with her while she tried to get loans, and it was very hard for her.
Being told that my terms and my financial package is the best I'm going to get, but my husband's able to get different terms.
I have banks asking me, oh yeah, I like this project. Can I speak to your husband? Can I speak to your father? The daily struggle is still there as a woman, even in 2022.
Women Own the Room is probably one of the most important things that we could do as an organization or as a company. We've seen a gap in the creation of ownership or even wealth amongst women owners.
And so what our team has done is put together a program that will help women figure out the how and why to get the project into the ground, and then also how to operate the project once it opens.
I was so impressed by Wyndham and how present they were. I felt very supported.
Women Own the Room program is giving you all these tools to educate yourself.
I felt like that brand's already ahead of the curve because they're already listening.
What we're saying is, you go do it. We're going to be there clearing a path for you every step of the way. And that's what Wyndham is here to do, clear that path.
I have worked with other brands before, and I hear lots of no's. And when I go to Wyndham, everything is yes. It's a true partnership.
To be able to have my own properties, to be my own owner, programs like Women Own the Room, they make it possible.
Welcome back to the Shad Table Talk. I'm here with my sisters, Lauren, Monica, and Morgan again. Wow, what an exciting presentation. So, Michigan State, this is the 5th time that they've come to compete. I think they've been second. They haven't been first yet, because that performance was amazing. I thought it was so interesting that they reached out to me and said, can we do this live, stay type of product? And I was super excited. I said, yes. And then 2 weeks later, I see the announcement. And Wyndham's one of our dear partners for She Has a Deal and has been supporting us. And so I'm really glad that we have Morgan Mason, one of our alum who works for Wyndham, and she actually worked on this acquisition project. Tell us about how this came to life, the live, stay component.
Yes, so I did have the opportunity to work on this deal, actually along with Galen, when he was my boss, when I first started at Wyndham. So I really have to commend them because that is difficult to project sort of the hotel and apartment all under one roof. It was difficult for me to do that and to figure that out. So I really do want to commend them on that. Additionally, this property is only a year old. So they didn't have a ton of data. It's just starting to stabilize, and they really had to figure out some things on that side in addition to, the live and stay. So great job to them on that.
Great. So, ladies, I've been investing in residential for over 20 years. I wish I would have thought of this concept, marrying my passion for hotels with residential. What do you think about that combination and their statement that it really mitigates some of the risk of the stay side?
Yeah, I first came along with this. I first learned about the concept with some hotels that were in Florida, in Miami, where they were selling condos above. I don't know that they were rented, so I like it because my husband and I have been looking at multifamily, and to combine it with our love for hotels would be great. So I'm just learning about this product as we were learning about the pitches. So I'm very excited about the model.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity, obviously, to cut expenses. You already have that with the extended stay, and then adding in that live portion, and with it being unfurnished, I think there's a lot of opportunity there. Going back to the margins again, like we did the previous pitch, seeing an NOI margin growing from 45% to almost 52%, I don't know how obtainable that is, but with the component of the live in addition to the stay, I think it could possibly, work, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. And the other thing I was paying attention to is the occupancy. Like, I know that there's a lot of traveling folks, and so all of the construction that's going on, if they actually can capture a lot of that for their stays in the live part, I think they could actually hit those numbers that they're looking for.
What isn't happy Arizona? So,
Well,
I mean, isn't it a happy place? Morgan, when we're looking at these deals, due diligence, super important in order to get to that return on investment, because this is all about investors. Investors want to make a return on their investment. So as they projected their net operating income, talk to me, tell me what your thoughts are on how realistic they were with their projections.
Yeah, I would probably echo what Lauren was saying as well about that jump from 45 to 52. I mean, if they can do it, that's great, but it is a little bit aggressive, I would say. So that would probably be my concern is can they really get there? How realistic is that actually?
Well, it seems like a simple model with the extended stay. I mean, what do you think the risks are when you break down the expense categories? What do you think the biggest risk would be? I mean, I think on the live portion, that probably would be self-containable, but when it comes to the stay component, what do you think the biggest risk would be in not hitting those numbers? What expense categories?
Is this for all of us or just
for all of you?
Oh, okay.
Thoughts? One thing I'm paying attention to is that if the average stay is really 100 nights, that really mitigates some of your labor costs because if you go in there once a week, and it's that stable, they're already hitting, 77 to 91% occupancy in the first quarter. So it's just very interesting. I can't wait to see more.
Yeah. I think maybe repairs and maintenance and then utilities, because there'll also be some volatile expenses that depending on who's staying with you, for how long they're staying with you, those could definitely vary.
Yes,
I did have something,
Okay.
but I did want to shift the conversation
Sure,
a little
let's do
bit
it.
to performance. This was just one note that I had. So one thing I think for their performance, obviously they did a great job, but something that I would have liked to see that would have been, I think, helpful is if they would have given more of those market rates for the apartment portion specifically, because we had a lot of great hotel data, which was great for hotel people. But I think when you're trying to anchor yourself in something different, like residential, you need a little bit more of that data in the presentation. So I know they did talk a little bit about their projections, and I know they do the 160% markup for water walk with the utilities. But if they would have had more of their competitors, kind of what they were doing, and dived into a little bit more of those assumptions, that would have been really helpful in the presentation.
Yeah, thank you for that. You want to say something?
Well, I was also going to shift a little bit to a different thing that caught my eye was their cap stack. I thought it was really interesting that they only had a 45% LTV versus like a typical 65%. So I would love to see like some more color as to why they chose that sort of structure. And then also, if they were quoted SOFR plus 250 bips, I mean, that's obviously, a pretty good rate in the market today. And so if that truly is what they are able to get with this loan, I think that would be a great opportunity.
Yeah, I like the fact that they actually went out and spoke to Huntington Bank and, talked to a bank that's already familiar with that particular brand, because that makes it probably easier for them to, get financing and get through the underwriting process, excuse me. But I think that rate, when you put in the multi with it, rates are much better on the multi side.
Yeah, I think that what they got from Huntington was probably the most realistic of what we've seen today, and just sort of what I've heard kind of out there with what people are seeing. I thought it was realistic.
All right.
Yeah, one comment about Concord Hospitality. I know they've been a sponsor.
Yeah, thank
you. Actually, when I was in the program, my mentor came from Concord Hospitality, so I feel very confident with their management, their third-party management choice.
And thank you to Concord for being a sponsor for the third year in a row. So we'll see you after pitch 4. And ladies, thank you so much for joining the Shad Talk table.
Up next, coming all the way from San Diego State University, meet Ryla and Ryla Developments.
Hi, my name is Ryan Harper, and I attend San Diego State University.
Hi, my name is Camila Trejo, and I also go to San Diego State University.
I would love to work on the design team for developing new brands and new products within hotel companies to really ensure that we're catering to all different types of travelers.
I love hospitality as a whole, and I love the real estate side. Now that I've progressed through the entire program, I've always kind of known that I wanted to own hotels, but now I'm more certain that I do. My family's from Mexico, so I'd love to own some hotels in Mexico as well.
I know my worth so much clearer now because of the women that have been a part of this, and I think that change is something I wasn't expecting to see throughout this journey, but it's something that I'm so, so grateful to have experienced through all of this.
Hello. From San Diego, cross country to Miami Gardens, with an innovative hotel conversion plan, please welcome Rylan Harper and Camila Trejo.
Well, good morning. Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan Harper.
And my name is Camila Trejo, and together we are Ryla Developments from San Diego State University.
Today, we'll be walking you through our unique independent hotel, which we plan to acquire and rebrand. Located in the up-and-coming Miami Gardens, Florida, this unconventional property offers you an in to a currently untapped market.
Welcome to Stadium Hotel.
Next slide. Perfect. Now you might be thinking, where is Miami Gardens?
I'm not sure, Ryan. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
I would love to. Now, Miami Gardens is located within the Miami-Dade County, and it is its largest growing city. In the current year of 2024, the population is just merely under 110,000 people and is continuing to grow.
And as you can see here to the right-hand side on the map, Miami Gardens is located right in the center of two major cities, with Fort Lauderdale to the north and Miami to the south. Both of those cities saw a combined 80 million travelers coming through those airports in 2023, which was a record-breaking year, and that continues to show the consistency and popularity of this destination.
Definitely. But what Miami Gardens is most known for is the Hard Rock Stadium. Now, the Hard Rock Stadium opened in 1987 and has recently undergone a $755 million renovation in 2015 and 2016. This left none of the 65,000 seats untouched, preparing them to host Super Bowl 54. Since Super Bowl 54, these elevated venue spaces have been utilized for countless events just minutes away from Stadium Hotel. Now that you understand a little bit about our location, allow Camila to walk you through our property details.
All right. So Stadium Hotel is located in Miami Gardens, Florida, which we now have a better understanding of where that is. And our property is a family-owned and operated independent hotel that has 217 keys spanning over 9 floors. We have a mix of king rooms, double queen rooms, as well as king suites. We are sitting on 4.77 acres of land, have 291 parking spaces on property. We have a little bit over 7,000 square feet of meeting and event space, as well as an active bar and restaurant. We also have unique amenities such as a pool, a basketball court, and a golf course on property. And last but not least, we offer a convenient shuttle service to Hard Rock Stadium if our guests choose to take advantage of that amenity.
Wonderful. So now that you understand a little bit about the basics of our location and property, allow me to walk you through our deal story. We'll be starting with our investment summary, moving down into our debt structure, and then touching on the rebrand we plan for Stadium Hotel. Next, we'll be moving into our demand drivers, who makes up our comp set, ADR and occupancy, our projections, and finally, exit strategy.
All right, so let's get started with our investment summary. The listing price for Stadium Hotel is $28 million. However, after we conducted a quick value calculation and had various conversations with connections in Miami Gardens, we came to the conclusion that this property can be purchased at $24 million, which comes out to be around $110,000 per key. Since we do plan on rebranding and renovating this property, our property improvement plan comes in at $8.75 million, and our closing costs are $1.85 million, which comes out to $8,500 per key.
So the all-inclusive cost of this property would be $34.6 million, so roughly $160,000 per key. Now moving on into our return on investment, this property will have a 7-year hold, generating a 20.3 return on IRR. A multiple on invested capital is 3.1, and your cash-on-cash return is 13%.
All right. So now moving into our debt structure, we will have a loan-to-value ratio of 65%, and the total equity required to obtain this property will be $12.1 million, and your equity investment in our property will be supported by constant demand drivers seen in Miami Gardens, coming heavily from entertainment, both on a national and collegiate level.
Now let's go into our property rebrand. So based off of our location, property, and plans for future growth, rebranding Stadium Hotel into a Hyatt-centric property is the best fit. Now, Camila and I had multiple conversations with different brands. However, Hyatt was really able to see our vision for both the improvement of our property and for the market over these next 7 years. As you can see on the left-hand side of the screen, we have our current independent rooms. Now, compared to the right-hand side, you're able to see a little bit of what a Hyatt-centric room looks like. Hyatt-centrics are upscale and highly customizable, which is allowing us to continue capitalizing off of our unique location to the Hard Rock Stadium. Now moving on, Hyatt also has 40 million loyalty members throughout their program, spanning over 1,300 properties within their portfolio, over 76 countries. Now here you're able to visualize a little bit more of what that rebrand would look like from our current property common spaces to that right-hand side comparison to what a Hyatt-centric currently looks like.
So for our management company, Concord Hospitality would be the ideal company for us, just because they have of their familiarity, with the Miami market as well as with full-service hotels. So as you can see here on the map, you can see pink dots all over Miami, and those are the 8 properties that they currently manage in the city of Miami. 2 of those properties are actually Hyatt-centric properties, so it's obvious it's great for us to know that they have previous experience working with that specific Hyatt brand. And that blue dot, if you look at that center of the map, is a restaurant that they help operate and run in Miami, which again adds to their knowledge in operating different outlets within the hotel. And we're confident that Concord Hospitality can help us meet our goals.
Wonderful. Now let's talk about our comp set. As you can see here on the map on the screen, we have labeled all 6 of our competitive properties within a 15-mile radius of the star, which designates Stadium Hotel. Now you can see that there are minimal competition within the direct vicinity of Stadium Hotel. This fact made it incredibly difficult to craft our comp set because of the limited properties in our area. So we were able to base our 6 comp sets, or 6 competitive hotels, based off of their key count and amenities offered here on property.
All right. So as you can see here, what the star symbolizes Stadium Hotel, and once we rebrand into a Hyatt-centric, we will be the first Hyatt property within our comp set. However, we do expect our comp set to change within the next couple of years, as there are new developments in the pipeline, specifically coming into Miami Gardens. So as you can see, there's a pink triangle right underneath our star, and we'll go into those development details a little bit later on. However, we just wanted to highlight the proximity that those new developments will have to our hotel.
Now, this map here focuses on the major brand concentration within the Miami market. The blue dots are representative of Hilton. With 17 properties, they're pretty equally spread out between both beachfront and airport locations. Marriott with 13, you're able to see a heavy concentration along that beachfront point, and IHG has 15 properties located in green along beachfront, airport, and they are the only ones who are highly concentrated on that western side of our market.
And last but not least, we have Hyatt on that map as well, signified by those yellow dots. And they have the least amount of properties coming in at 10. And if you focus your eyes to the bottom portion of the map, you could see that that is where those Hyatt properties are. And once we rebrand into that Hyatt Centric, we will be the first Hyatt property north of Interstate 195.
And as you can see, as Camila mentioned, we have that pink triangle. Now that pink triangle represents the two major developments coming to Miami Gardens in the next few years, located on 27th Avenue, which is seen as the gateway to the city. Now one of these developments is the Calder site. The Calder site is a $1 billion city improvement plan being developed by Blackstone. Now, the Calder site is set to include multifamily developments, industrial sites, medical centers, retail facilities, and restaurants just minutes away from Stadium Hotel.
And the second development signified by that pink triangle is the Miami Gardens City Center, which is a project that is worth $500 million and is set to include 2 new hotels, upscale apartment complexes, as well as an entertainment area including a bowling alley and arcade and the world's first ever Formula One museum, all again just within minutes of Stadium Hotel and Hard Rock Stadium.
Perfect. So now that you understand the Miami market, let's talk about our specific demand drivers. Now the yellow star represents Stadium Hotel, and we've zoomed into that lower right-hand side so you're able to see those 2 major points.
All right, so as you can see here in the zoomed in portion, you can see Hard Rock Stadium and Calder site. Both of those are just within a mile's distance of our property. And Hard Rock Stadium is home to the NFL team of the Miami Dolphins, as well as the University of Miami football teams. And aside from those football games that take place during those respective seasons, the Hard Rock Stadium is also home to various and different types of events throughout the year that bring in millions of revenue dollars throughout the year.
Now, some of these events consist of the Miami Open Tennis Tournament, the Orange Bowl, the FIFA World Cup in 2026, numerous festivals and concerts like Taylor Swift later this year. We have, and as well, Formula One racing, which has a contract with Hard Rock Stadium until 2031, which conveniently is the end of our investment period.
And if you focus your eyes to the left-hand side of that map, you could see 2 universities labeled on there. The first one is St. Thomas University, and the second one is Florida Memorial University. Those 2 universities have 5,000 students collectively, or excuse me, a little bit over 5,000 students collectively. And it's important to note that Florida Memorial University is the only historic Black college in all of Miami, which allows a different demographic of travelers to visit Miami Gardens throughout the year as well.
And finally, Miami Opa-locka Airport is located just 6.4 miles away. This is used as a service facility for any airline repairs that may need to take place, as well as welcoming high-scale executives, whether they're coming to Miami, Miami Gardens, and the surrounding cities. Now, our property historically has pushed ADR. In year 1 alone, we are significantly outperforming the market. By adding Hyatt's flag to our property, we're able to incorporate price integrity into our strategy. From year 1 to year 7, we see a steady 30% growth in ADR, and in year 2 alone, we are reaching an 120% penetration index.
All right, so now moving into our occupancy, as you can see on this graph, in year 1, we are performing below the market, but that is due to 2025 being our renovation year. In year 2, we will be putting up our Hyatt flag, which will allow us to perform at a similar level to our market. And in year 5 and beyond, our penetration index will exceed 100%. However, the 3 previous years, we are performing at a very high level, coming in at the high 90s, like 98 and 99. It's also important to note that Miami Gardens has a lack of room supply and an excess of demand for them. So with those new developments coming into Miami Gardens and with our current hotel, we're confident that the lack of room issue is going to start to begin getting resolved. And we'll also see our hotel and the hotels surrounding us performing at a very similar level. But one advantage that we have is that we're a property that's already standing and operating while everything else is a new development.
Perfect. Now going into our projections. So from year 1 to year 7, by adding the Hyatt flag as well as our reputable management company of Concord Hospitality, we are able to see extensive growths within our occupancy and ADR, as well as minimizing and optimizing our expenses. In the pink line, you're able to see our revenue growth. From year 1 to year 7, we see a year-over-year change of 3%. And our net operating income in the blue line, we see a 1.5% change year over year.
And as Ryan previously mentioned, those are the projections for our revenue and NOI, but the graph also helps us understand and see that there will be a 30% profit margin generated by these improvements.
Wonderful.
Now, finally, we've made it to our exit strategy. Occupancy, ADR, and RevPAR have seen impressive increases over the 7-year investment period. Occupancy experiences a 1.5% year-over-year change. ADR will see a 1.3%, and RevPAR with 2.3%. Now, occupancy from year 1 to year 7 sees a total growth of 24.7%. ADR will see a 33% rise, and RevPAR has the most impressive increase with 65.5% from year 1 to year 7.
All right, so to quickly recap, Stadium Hotel is an unconventional deal located in a city that is eager to grow, and the untapped market potential of Miami Gardens makes our property a lucrative deal, which generates a 20.3% IRR, a cash-on-cash return of 13%, and the invested capital will triple over the end of our 7-year investment period. Now, these financial improvements will be made possible by the growth of the Miami Gardens market, which further showcases that the city is ready and willing to take on the acquisition and rebrand of Stadium Hotel.
Thank you so much for listening.
So we get a Hyatt property.
Yes.
Super excited. Okay, judges. Mary, do you want to start because it's a Hyatt property?
Sure.
No bias.
No bias, no bias. But love the project.
Thank
Great
you.
job. And your presentation skills were on point. Nice work.
Thank you so much.
Sure. So quick question about the conversion. What is part of the scope to convert it to the Hyatt-centric? And, certainly we saw the rooms, the renovation to the rooms. Do you have any other plans for public space, repositioning, food and beverage outlets, the meeting space as well? Kind of how do you envision that?
Definitely. So for the conversion, one of the reasons why we chose the Hyatt-centric properties is, one, their adaptability to the location. So currently on property, we have meeting spaces that are available, but with the pictures included online, I almost purposely didn't include them in this picture because respectfully, they're not that attractively looking. So what we're looking to do is really just do that facelift on the inside. The property itself, the structure of the building is safe and sound to our knowledge. So the Hyatt-centric conversion would be able to not only improve the spaces currently, but for the restaurant, the sports bar, we really want to see changes to that as well, growing it on our property. With its vicinity so close to the Hard Rock Stadium, this is really a great place right now that we are able to grow that food and beverage kind of market and appeal of our hotel, not only just staying there, but seeing that renovation as well as, of course, the rooms and the whole vibe of the property. You may have seen it's kind of a blue outside. It's very blue. I don't know how to describe it. And so just having that facelift externally with all of the operational changes as well that'll happen. That was our plan.
Yeah. Great. Julia?
Yes, great job, ladies. Great presentation. I have 3 questions. So the first is, you mentioned that you're a bit pioneering, those weren't your words, those are mine, but a bit pioneering in the marketplace with a brand like Hyatt-centric. You could see with your comp set that there's nothing in the upper upscale segment today. So why Hyatt-centric versus another Hyatt brand in their portfolio?
So we did our research. We looked at all the different brands that we thought could be a good fit, and we were set on Hyatt after we did our research, and we went with Hyatt-centric just because, as Ryan was mentioning during the presentation, its adaptability to the location. And as we were doing our market research for Miami Gardens, we saw all these new developments that, like we mentioned in our presentation. And we knew that one of the hotels coming in is most likely going to be a Hilton, and since they're putting so much money into that city, we said that why not bring the scale of the property up to an upscale property, because it's just going to bring more value to that property as well, allow Miami Gardens to continue growing and draw more people in, so making Miami Gardens an actual destination. And it would be such a cool thing to be a part of that growth and that direction that Miami Gardens is looking to head into.
Additionally, we had considered a Hyatt Regency because of the meeting space aspect. However, because Miami Gardens is growing so much in the next few years, we really see this as a way to capitalize off of the community as well. So with Hyatt Regencies, nothing wrong with that, love them. However, the Hyatt-centric properties really showcase the destination. People are drawn there because of the major drivers of Hard Rock Stadium and all the new surrounding developments. So that was another reason why we picked Hyatt-centric.
That's great. Thank you. And second question, on one of your slides, you talked about the NOI projections from, I think, where the hotel is today versus where it would be for Centric. I didn't quite catch where the ADR and occupancy projection would be, what the delta is there, and what kind of lift you would see there. So, but my question is, On the NOI projections, you're anticipating a lift in ADR of some kind and all the delivery that Hyatt will provide, but there's also cost involved with branding. So tell us about how that affected your NOI projections, considering the brand is completely unaffiliated today, right? There's no preferred hotels or something like that, right? Yeah.
So when we were building our financial model, obviously, we were looking at what the hotel had done previously and also what the market was doing previously. So like you were mentioning, our ADR will increase and everything, and we're aware that the franchise fees are 6% and that labor costs increase throughout the year. So we just made all those projections that we were making. We double and triple checked them. We also had various people help us to look through our financial model to make sure that those numbers did make sense. So once we were ready to submit that, we looked at those expenses and made sure that everything was looking right in order, and the labor expenses and the franchise fees luckily will be performing very well, or we expect to be performing very well. So that's going to help us level out and still continue to be a top property in that area.
Great. And final question, and I'll pass the mic to my colleagues. The acquisition, I assume, is for almost 5 acres, right?
Yes.
It's a big pad site. And from my perspective, it's a little overparked at 290 spots in today's world. Yeah. So is there a thought about reconfiguring part of the site to do something else in the future?
Totally.
Yes.
So in our research for this entire project, we made a few calls to Stadium Hotel, pretending like we were going to go stay there just to get a little bit more information, because we were working with lacking information at first. And so with the 291 parking spaces, I asked to see if, they rented it out for any event parking spaces. They said they didn't. However, I think that is something that we would be able to capitalize off of as well, because we're working with 4.77 acres. That's a lot of space that we could dedicate to building possibly something else. So maybe adding another restaurant onto our property to draw more guests in outside of the hotel, but having it, in that close vicinity. Of course, other ones will be added to the market, but really adding something to our property to elevate our guest experience as well is something we considered.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Julian. Matt? Caleb?
So in the forecast, I noted that there is a significant drop in the market from a rate perspective. And my question isn't about rate, but more about things that could impair your demand profile, specifically the Hard Rock. So it's sort of a twofold question. It's how important is the Hard Rock to your overall business model? And two, just kind of trying to quantify that risk. How frequently do sports teams relocate such that could materialize over a 7-year horizon?
Yeah.
Of course. I'm sure, as you could tell throughout our presentation, the Hard Rock is pretty crucial to our property and its performance. However, with that being said, that's a vicinity issue. So, not an issue, but that's a factor of vicinity. So we are pretty much the only hotel that is there fully operating right now with enough rooms to even sustain an audience coming from out of town to watch anything happening at the Hard Rock Stadium. Of course, people could stay in Miami. However, our location is just prime for sporting events there. Now, one of the reasons we got into this deal in the first place is both of our interests within the sports industry. So as you mentioned, our team's gonna transfer, everything like that. Of course, that's something that is potential to happen. However, one, with the renovations recently of the Hard Rock Stadium, we don't foresee anything changing, one, with the Miami Dolphins or for the U Miami football team, other than maybe if they build one on campus, but I would assume that there's not that much space closer to Miami, since it's such a dense city, to build a property over there for them to play. So in that sense, yes, there is a pretty heavy reliance. However, with the new developments coming in and our planned remodel and elevation of the property, we are envisioning it to be more of a community welcoming space as well, and something that people are able to capitalize off of, not just on the weekends or on maybe a week-long event at the Hard Rock Stadium. It'll be a space that people are able to just stay at.
If I may add something really quickly, like Ryan was saying, with the new developments coming in, we do expect those apartment complexes to come in, and I'm sure they won't be the only ones. I'm sure throughout, who knows, maybe 10, 15 years, there's going to be more complexes coming in. So that's going to give families a place to have their families nearby. So, we're going to most likely expand into that market as well later on. So, yeah. Thank you.
Matt?
I'll give you the Shark Tank question. What are you looking for in your investment from us? What's your minimum ask?
Well, if we're going how Tracy does her deals, I believe the first round she asked for a minimum of $10,000. So we could start at that, and then once we close our first, I guess we could call it our first tier or first stage, we can go more than $10,000. But if we're looking as if we were, like, let's say on Shark Tank, right? I would, if I'm going to go big, I'd probably say if you can give us closer to $100,000, that'd be great to start, right? And keep us moving forward.
Very good, thank you. You wonder how many people will have a seat at the table. So, right? So if there's, how does the guarantee work? All those sort of things with the franchise. So there's a lot of things that we take into perspective as investors, and when we're working with investment groups that do deals with us as well. So that's the reason for my ask.
Yeah, perfect. Well, thank you.
And you obviously had your coffee this morning.
Oh, yeah.
And you are very polished and a great presentation. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Yeah, I was telling her this morning that I woke up nervous and I was like going through our pitch deck in my head in the morning. And I was like, oh, wait, no, I skipped the slide. Go back.
We were dreaming about it.
I love it. Judges, anything further? Okay, I learned a new term today, overparked. Overparked. Is it? Okay, so maybe I should not use that term.
Add it to the dictionary.
Okay, I trust Julian, so we'll see. Well done, ladies. Thank you so much. You can go backstage and have your interview with Tejal.
Perfect. Awesome.
So, amazing job.
Wonderful.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Okay, I think we're all getting the hang of this. I already see that the phones are coming out. So let's get ready to rate the pitch. Remember, your ranking will represent 5% of their final score, so it's very important. At the end of the show, you'll also come back and vote for your favorite pitch for the Viewer's Choice Award. And remember, every time you rate and vote on a pitch, you'll be entered to win one of our amazing door prizes. And with that, Tejal, over to you.
All right, so I am here with Ryan and Camilla. Camilla or Camila?
I always say Camila, just because I speak Spanish at home, so everyone just called me Camila, so Camila.
Okay. Well, amazing job, ladies. Just hop right into it. So you've chosen a pretty dynamic market, and that already has a lot of things going on. So for the sake of the competition, why something so, for lack of a better term, complex, when you could have gone with something more safe?
Yeah, definitely. So we looked at those cookie cutter deals right away. When we were playing with our financial model, we needed something that had all the solid information that we could plug in, understand what we're working with. But it really came down to what we're passionate about.
Yeah.
And Camila and I are out there. We're trying to find the deals that'll make people interested, that'll invite them in. And Stadium Hotel really did that for us. So
And as soon as we saw it, like Ryan was mentioning, like it just caught our eye. I found it and I went to Ryan. I was like, Ryan, look at this deal. And we were like, we both didn't really say it at first, but we really liked it. And then when we were like, oh, like we just should have said it something at first. But I'm really happy that we were able to go with this deal. And like you were saying, it's very complex, very different. But why not add a little twist to everything, right?
Go big or go home, right?
Exactly.
So one of the most incredible things about the She Has a Deal experience is when you participate, you actually get paired with a coach or mentor. Who was your coach and how did they impact your journey with She Has a Deal?
Yeah. So our coach was Viviana Wilkins. So she was part of the original cohort back in 2020. So it's great to be able to have worked with her. And now she works with Tracy Prigmore, which is obviously something amazing. So she has a lot of knowledge that obviously she was able to guide us through the entire process. So we were very grateful to have her as our coach. And also there's 2 SCSU alum who are also participating in She Has a Deal. So they weren't our coaches, but it's good to lean on them as well. And it's having familiar faces always is something very welcoming and very, it keeps you calm.
Exactly. And Viviana's also an SJC alum, so go Aztecs for everyone watching. But it was great to have that, support of the familiarity within our school.
Yeah. Well, amazing. Well, again, incredible job, ladies. So now you guys can breathe.
Oh,
we'll
yes.
some coffee refreshments, and we'll catch up with y'all at the luncheon, okay?
Thank you so much.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have a few words from one of our other incredible founding sponsors, Hyatt Hotels.
Yeah, Hyatt.
Welcome to a world where you can truly be. A world so thoughtful, so well appointed in every detail and intention, that the collective feeling of being so utterly cared for somehow helped you be there even more. Welcome to the oh-so-delightful world of Hyatt, where your coworkers become your co-people. Where families live out stories to be told to great-grandkids. Where you fall in love all over again, to a level you didn't even know was humanly possible. And the most spectacular sights to be seen are rivaled only by the new sides to be seen of yourself. Because when you can finally be more present, be more proud, more mindful, more mama, more mermaid? Here in this very moment, in the world of Hyatt, you become something so much more too. World of Hyatt, be more here.
Welcome back to the Shad Talk table. I am here at this segment with SDSU, in my world anyway. This is my SDSU. We have asked Carl Winston, who is the director of the program, to sit down at the Shad Talk table. And one of the reasons I wanted to have Carl come to the table is that when I had created She Has a Deal, I didn't know if any of the programs were going to be enthusiastic and excited as I was about the program. And I remember distinctly talking to Carl and having a conversation. When we first started the conversation, I thought you were a little skeptical. You made me nervous. But then by the time we finished the call, how did you feel?
You are very persuasive and quite the visionary, as the audience knows. So this is our 5th year involved with you, and your vision has come to reality, and it's changed the lives of so many young women, 2 of whom are sitting on my left.
Yes, thank you. Yes, we have Viviana Wilkins and Lauren Graff, both who competed in the competition and went on to work with sponsors. So Viviana came to work with TLT Solutions, and Lauren is with Rockbridge. So ladies, how did you feel about the performance of your team?
They made us proud. Very, very proud. I'm super always astonished on how each team that I've coached from San Diego State, the growth, including yourself, and just seeing them pitch, it's very knowledgeable, and I'm very proud. So I'm so happy for them.
So you were their coach. What were some of the key things that you told them would be important to present today?
Numbers, numbers, numbers. Investors love the numbers. I think I've seen stories or pitches, I should say.
Help them kind of go through some of their expenses in the P&L and just see what's realistic. But obviously with a deal like this, with such a massive renovation, it can be kind of hard to predict certain expenses. And I think that's one thing maybe we could have spent some more time on. I don't know what projections they got, but I think their renovation coming in around $40,000 a key. With how extensive it's going to be, it might be a little low. But I'm really excited for this deal, and I think it's a great opportunity and a great market to be in.
You know, I was really impressed having a second home in the Miami area, not too far from the property, how well they grasp what's going on in that market and were able to demonstrate that they understood the market in which that hotel that they were going to convert was operating. So I was very excited to see how well they did that and applied that. And then the way that they looked at the different opportunities for brands and landed on Hyatt-centric and had a clear strategy and rationale for why they chose the Hyatt-centric. Carl, do you guys talk about this in your classes? Like, how were they so prepared to be able to break that down?
We do some of that, and I have to give a shout out to Lan Elliott, who's in your audience. Lan is actually teaching a real estate class for us this semester.
Okay.
Thank you. And but this concept that the ladies landed on is really out of the box and very hard to convey what they've done, because as they said, it's not just a sort of a plain deal where you're taking an existing property and bringing it along. This is one where they're completely repositioning it. And it's not something I can teach every student, or we can teach every student, but these ladies really grasp something that is a pretty advanced business concept in terms of creating value in a deal. So very proud of them.
So I would go into some numbers, but I just want to kind of bring an elephant in the room to the table. I think SDSU has never taken home first prize. What are we going to do about that this year? Don't we have a lot of seconds?
Yeah,
I mean,
don't we
just
have, what? Don't we? Yeah, we do have a lot of seconds, which is still great. We're all winners in heart.
Yes.
But, so we're really rooting for them to
Bring it home this year.
Yeah. I mean, Viewer's Choice, though, I mean, we win it. We slam it every year. So.
Judges, do you take Venmo?
Well, I'm actually glad that I don't ever have to judge. I mean, I really rely on the judges that we set at the table to choose, because I like to mentor all of the teams and really support all of the teams. And so I think it's a tough job for our judges. Just to remind everyone, there are 5 main criteria that are part of the judging. So the first is, do you have a competitive advantage? And so we want the women to be able to really break down, like, what is your deal thesis? How are you going to create value? What did you think about their ability to articulate how they were going to create value?
Go for it. Well, I thought it was great. I mean, obviously, adding a brand will add value in itself, and then the renovation as well. And I think maybe repurposing some of the amenities that the property had, I think they mentioned that, will also really add value. I think they had like a miniature golf course, which is a really interesting amenity that I haven't really seen. So I think there's a lot of opportunity to capture some higher profitability in those spaces.
Agree. And the market itself, I mean, because there's a lot of future development, Blackstone is coming in, I think that they are presenting that story that it's going to be a valuable hotel, and valuable investment, I should say. So I'm very excited to see what's going to happen in the next 2-3 years in Miami Gardens, and the story was really well played out.
How well did, another component is due diligence, right? How well, and I know as you coach them, you probably witnessed, the type of research and work that they did to understand if this project is really feasible. Tell me about how you thought that they carried that out, or articulated that in their pitch today.
Yeah, I think that they played the story very well. It was difficult for them to get a lot of the information because it is an independent hotel. So they had to, strategize who's going to be in the comp set, especially with the branded Hyatt-centric. But I think they worked so hard in trying to really come up with the right projections with the little info they had. And they sort of looked at other Hyatt-centrics in similar cities to see, what is their ADR running for them to make up the projections that they did.
Yeah, shout out to Star and Hannah Smith, who helps the women to formulate their comp sets. Thank you for joining the Shad Talk table. We're up to pitch 5 now, I think. We'll see you back soon.
I love it. Tracy's starting trouble with the SDSUers in the crowd. Oh my goodness. Coming to pitch from University of Miami, Herbert's Business School, please welcome Gale Stays.
Hi, I'm Amina. I have my MBA in real estate from the University of Miami. I'm so thankful for Shad for giving me the confidence. Now it's no longer a pivot. I'm in hospitality, okay? Inspiration comes from my grandfather, actually. I'm really fortunate to grow up and see him in Senegal. He owned about 10 properties, 2 of which we lived in as family, and the 8 he rented out. So it was really cool to see, he was helping folks. Now that I've done She Has a Deal, it has totally changed my timeline. I thought I had to wait so much longer to achieve my goals, or even at least start. And now I have started. I literally am chasing my dreams through Shad, and it's amazing.
Embark on an exotic journey, a boutique hotel experience all the way in Senegal. Please welcome Amina Sam.
Good afternoon, or almost afternoon. Thank you so much for being here, judges. Thank you to Shad for this amazing opportunity. I'm Amina. I had the fortune of growing up between Brooklyn, New York, and Senegal. It has made me really adaptable to any situation. As you heard, I have my MBA in real estate from the University of Miami. And I have some experience, mostly coming from affordable housing development and real estate taxes. I'm leveraging those to pivot into hospitality officially. A fun fact about me is that I speak 3 languages and I'm learning my 4th. I am so excited to introduce Galistes to you. This is a 75-key, new construction, beachfront in Senegal, in the Dakar capital, which is the capital of Senegal, in West Africa. Now, we're looking at upscale, boutique. It fits really well with either Tribute or Autograph by Marriott or Curio by Hilton. And we have these incredible returns. At year 10, I'm looking to buy out all the investors as this is a legacy project for me. I'll be using a cash out refi, and the returns at that time are a 19% IRR, a 5-time multiple in invested cash, and a 19% average cash on cash return. Now, selecting a brand for my first baby was no easy feat. I know I had to be a soft brand because I wanted to maintain some type of independence. Now, we look at Autograph or Tribute by Marriott and Curio by Hilton. I really like, these are pictures from their portfolio. They have a global-minded, remarkable portfolio that I think will fit really well. At first, because I'm targeting Gen Z and millennials, I was considering more like Aloft, Moxie, Motto. However, given Galistes' uniqueness of design that will be incorporated because of Senegalese culture, given the Dakar market, which we will dive into later, and given the room sizes I'm targeting, this was a much more better fit. Now, Galistes is boutique, but it has some full-service features, such as an on-demand airport shuttle service. We have a pool, a gym, and a bistro-style restaurant and bar that will offer Senegalese, American, and vegan options. We also offer chauffeur services and childcare to match the amenities of the comp set. So why Dakar, Senegal, other than the fact that I have some roots there? Well, this emerging market's GDP is expected to grow over 60% in the next 5 years, and we know how much hotel demand is correlated to GDP, right? Accor and Choice, they know this, and that's why they're in Senegal. So Hilton, Marriott, what are you waiting for? What's next? We get 3 million yearly visitors to this beautiful country every year, and of course, it's easily accessible. It's only in a 7.5-hour flight from New York and a 5.5-hour flight from Paris, which a lot of people come from, so don't miss out. All right, so I selected a larger sample size in order to get a better sense of this market performance. Even though some of these hotels are not in the exact vicinity, they do give us a better sense of the market performance. So these are all of the 7 properties that report to STAR in Senegal. Notably is the Radisson Blu 4 miles away. Year to date, this set boasts a 70% occupancy, almost, $180 ADR, and $124 RevPAR. Now, out of the comp set in a 1-mile radius that do not report to STAR, I would like you to look at this 52-key that's less than a mile away from Galistes that opened in 2020, performing relatively well. In the pipeline, it's pretty minimal. We have a 150-key upscale property 17 miles away, slated for completion in 2026 also. Leisure and business brings almost 3 million folks to this beautiful city every year. D'été December, as it's called, brings thousands of Gen Z and millennials. They are running from the colder US states in Europe, or they're just looking for fun. They love the beaches. There are surfing lessons right near the hotel, actually, unaffiliated, just lucky. We have major art exhibitions, the longest running, most major grand scale art show called Duck Art since the 1990s in the entire continent. I mean, this is the biggest art show. Draws thousands, has corporate sponsors like Google, so we're talking real stuff. The Pink Lake, Luck Rose, and Gura Island are a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and they bring up to 500,000 visitors to Dakar every single year. Obama was there. If you saw him in the door of no return, we are very proud of that. And we have a champion soccer team. We're number 16 in the entire world, number 2 in the entire continent, which brings us some hype too. We are in the Basketball African League. We are hosting the semifinals next month, which I will be in attendance for. And we are dominating the league too in this Basketball African League. There's the presence of major companies like PwC and KPMG and conferences galore. An estimate I saw wasn't the most accurate, about 1,000 conferences a year. This is the neighborhood that Galistez will be in. It's called Almadiz, and it has an open mixed-use zoning code that allows it to have a variety of things. So we're talking about restaurants galore, shopping centers, the schools, and the club for the people who like to have fun, which is definitely me. Okay. So Dakar boasts some recreational, cultural, and educational activities. Pretend this is a beautiful reel playing for you. And we have the nightlife, the family-friendly activities, like an amusement park. Africa's tallest statue is in Dakar. It's called La Monument de la Renaissance, or the monument. Actually, how do you say it in English? The Renaissance Monument. Yes, less words. Dakar is actually very developed, so there's no like animals or safari that you would think, but it is an hour away if you ever want to see it, if you come. And of course, local restaurants, ATV rides, merchants, tailors. If you see Owusu, he pays for the Browns. He's very fly. His tailor is Senegalese. Not shocking. Hotel will offer dance classes. We'll offer a Wolof crash course. Wolof, have you ever heard of jollof rice? Anybody? Right. And you hear Ghana and Nigeria always taking claim. Guess where it originated? In Senegal. We are the Wolof tribe. I'm actually Fulani, but getting into the nitty-gritty. To call out some competitive advantages, imagine you invested in Brooklyn in the 90s or Miami in the 2010s. You probably wouldn't be here. But this is your chance now to invest in something like it. Dakar is really like Brooklyn in the 90s and Miami in the 2010s. It's an emerging market. You will have first mover's advantage. Appreciation in this market does not follow your typical North American rules of 2% per year, 7% in good years, right? We're looking at a 15% average yearly appreciation in the last couple years, and is only expected to grow that much. Of course, there's rising popularity in African culture, and the continued investment of tourism by the Senegalese government, because they have a whole department very dedicated to it, will continue to ensure stable returns for Galistez for years to come. Looking at the capital stack, I, as the sponsor, will be coming up with $480,000, and I'm looking to raise about 4.6 in equity, leaving about 9.6 to leverage. Our performance starts out very conservatively. In year 1, we only have a 51% occupancy, $122 ADR, and a $62 RevPAR. This means by year, this is going to grow 6%. This first year, I'm going to have a major trip of 50 people who have already expressed interest, including influencers, and with that out, in the following years, Galistez will start to match market performance, and by year 10, it will even exceed it. Operating expenses starting out at a 49%, but decreasing every year down to 30% by year 10, making the NOI stronger as we go along. Now, let's look into the future. It's 10 years from now. Galistez is worth $27 million with a 9.5% cap rate. I am ready to buy out my investors. I want this baby to be mine and mine only. I use a cash out refi, and we have 2 returns to look at, right? We got the investor level returns. They will be IRR of 13%, average cash on cash 13%, and a multiple on invested cash of 3. The property returns, amazing, 19% IRR, 19% average cash on cash, and a 5-time multiple on invested cash might sound a little crazy, but remember, we are in an emerging market. There's scarcity of land, so the appreciation is really high. We have lower wage cost, and your money is just multiplying faster. Reasons, sorry, this slide's a little bit out of order. Okay. So I'm gonna come back to this. This was supposed to be earlier. I wanna give you some personas of some of the guests, right? I mentioned by accident on purpose, I created a little travel community. In the last 3 years, I've taken about 15 people to Dakar to gauge some, intel, some market demand, some drivers, what are they looking for? And it has proven that it is attractive to either solo, couples, big or small groups or families, especially in the Gen Z and millennials, but I've taken Gen X. These are my friends all in the picture. That's me on the side looking cute. But yeah, everyone here is a good friend of mine. I didn't force them, honestly. They really did come on their own, and now every year they joke that they're gonna come back with me because I go every year. And yeah, they really love the beach. They want the gym. They do want to stay active. That's why I included a gym. They want restaurants to be in close proximity because Senegal is known for its really good food. So they want to try that. Like I said, they want to go to the lounges. They want to smoke hookah. They want to have fun. And Senegal has that galore, to be honest. We have a very active nightlife. Okay, now I can go back to here. Where's my risk and mitigant slide, y'all? There we go. Ooh. Thank you so much. Production team, I see you. All right, so currency risk. Senegal is actually using CFA that is backed by France and used by 13 additional countries on the continent. So we're talking about a very stable currency. Tariffs. In the GC estimates, they actually built in that anything they can't source locally and they have to source outside, they already built it into the budget. And we have the contingency, but most things are actually able to source locally, and that is the goal, to source locally as much as possible in construction. And inflation, we've all been hit by it, we've all been affected by it, and luckily because of this appreciation rate, inflation doesn't really hit any holdings. I have a couple land plots that I own, and I've been pretty protected. Anytime I try to sell it, it's been a high appreciation rate. And of course, the scarcity of land. I want to mention that Dakar is only 35 square miles. And we're talking about the most western point on the continent. Being less than 8 hours from New York, it's being bought up every single second. And that's why I cannot wait to get this started. Production, help me. So why should you invest in Gallistays? You missed out on Brooklyn, do not miss out on Dakar. This emerging market, don't do it to yourself. Beautiful location, it's a beachfront. These attractive returns, stable, very incredible. And I didn't get to hit on sustainability today, but it's such an important thing for me. ESG might be under attack, I'm only doubling down. It is here to stay, it's very important to me. And overall, this makes it a really strong investment. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you join me in Dakar one day.
Amina, great job.
Thank you.
Love it. Judges, who wants to start? Mary?
2 questions. Hi. Great job.
Thank you, Mary.
I want to go.
Yes.
A strange question coming from a brand, but just out of curiosity, did you give any consideration into keeping this independent? And kind of what were your thoughts between independent versus branding?
I love that question, Mary. So before joining Shad, I was like, Big Six? Psh, it's big me. I'm doing this by myself. And Shad actually opened my eyes. You know when you're young and you think you're invincible, you can do anything? Yeah, Shad let me know, you can do a lot of things, but certain things you do need to outsource and use your network, get the help, and the brands have that, right? I can work my butt off and go every door like you need to stay in Gallistays, and it might work, but I think it's much easier to leverage all the amazing network, everything that the brands have that I don't have to start from scratch. So I was really happy between Tracy, the luminaries, everyone gave me really great advice about doing a soft brand so I could still maintain some type of independence, have a say in it, not have to match extremely strict brand standards. So yeah, thank you. That was a great question because it really took some fighting for me to actually agree to a soft brand, if I'm being honest, and I'm really happy I did because now it's clear to me it's the right move.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And my next question is on performance. Looking at the set you chose and its performance in, I believe it was in the high ones, it looks like your projections, particularly for rate, are significantly lower than the comps. Can you speak to that?
Absolutely. So a lot of the comp set is 70% and upscale, so upper upscale luxury, and I'm more in the upscale, right? And I also still want to target these Gen Z and millennials that, you know, we're struggling a little bit. We eat a lot of avocado toast. We don't own homes. Like, you know, so I still wanted to, like, make sure people can afford to be there. So it is on purpose. And part of it, again, is because the comp set is skewed one way. And I wanted to make sure that it actually matches this. Also, sorry, I wanted to add, because the comp set was kind of limited, some of the research was like just going to certain properties and asking them like what their returns are. Of course, they don't really divulge it, but getting a estimate, and I feel like this is the most accurate. These are the right prices. But there is space for upside, I won't lie. There is some space.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Matt?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, great presentation, and we're so glad you're here today.
Thank you.
You had mentioned 480,000 was your investment. Is that the land value, and do you own the land outright?
Yes, so I own 12 plots of land in Dakar. Well, not just Dakar, in Senegal, part of Sali. I do not own this plot of land, but I am talking to the buyer. I'm going to use the money from the sales of the other plot of land for that 480,000. I've done the math. I'm actually going to be left with 20,000 because my plots of land are worth 500,000. Yes.
So there's some, what we would say, hair on the deal at this point, because you still have to go through the process of selling your other land and getting the seller of the other land to commit to you.
Yes, but I already have buyers for all my plots of land. Now, when I say buyers, it's just two people. It's really one high net worth individual who, this is his thing. Like, he buys land, holds it for 10, 25, 2, depending on where it is, and does it all over again, like sells. So I already have, he's willing to buy 90% of the portfolio, and one other seller will buy 10% of my land portfolio. We already have the people who handle the transfer, the entitlement, on hold, waiting for us. Whenever I'm ready, really, I'm the holdup, it'll be sold. So it won't be an issue acquiring or selling my past lands.
Awesome. One other question. Offer independent versus brand.
Yes.
If you had to choose a brand immediately right now, out of the ones that you suggested, which one would it be?
Who's giving me the most money?
So have you talked to any of the brands about key money?
Yes, a little bit. So I spoke to Marriott the most because I have a couple connections there and a Shad connection. Thank you. Yes, I have spoken to them, and all of them are kind of in the same ballpark. But I think after this presentation, somebody will offer me a little bit more money.
I love it. Julian?
Yes, great presentation, and you're doing it solo, so my hat's off to you for pulling that off as elegantly and eloquently as you have. I have a couple of questions. First of all, to build off of Matt's question about the site, what do you have to go through to get it entitled? Building on the coast is challenging, at least in the Americas. I'm not familiar with Senegal and the requirements there, but have you talked to the local jurisdictions? How are you going to do that, and who's going to be your development and construction partner locally?
You're right, my construction slide. It was so, there we go. Thank you for asking that question.
Yeah, sure.
And thank you for the kind words. So I consulted, I got some bids and estimates from companies like C-Press, Sagav International, Rise, and a few other companies, and that's where we got this estimate of $11 million in GC costs. We added 5% contingency for both hard and soft costs. First, like I mentioned earlier, into this GC cost is built-in tariffs and anything else that might go into it. Of course, there's building permits and the signage for a total of $12 million. We would like to start construction in June. 14 months later, voila, we have the grand opening. But your question was regarding to transferring land. How does that process go?
Well, how are you going to get the approvals to build that close to the ocean,
The
right?
ocean.
You're right on the coast. So
Yes.
how are you feeling about the ability to do that and get the approvals to do it?
Yeah, very possible. So I'll tell you a quick story. My first plot of land I bought in 2015. I was a high school senior. I was selling cookies, like, in my school. So I wasn't making much, but I made just enough to buy this eeny weeny. It was 110 meters squared. I'm not sure what that is in square foot right now. and it was only $2,000. And Lord, transferring it to my name was really stressful because I was not in Senegal. And I didn't have somebody at that time that was free to be able to do it for me. So I flew over. As soon as I graduated, I went to Senegal and did it myself. So ever since then, every single plot of land I acquire, I already know a process. I figured it out at 18, and now I'm a lovely 26, and I know how to do it all. So the process, I think for the first time, is confusing, and especially if you don't speak the language, but luckily I do. And now it's really just going to the right person. If you end up at the wrong person, you will drag it out. So that summer, it took me 1 week. After fighting with them for like 2 months over the phone, it took me 1 week to do it. The process is a lot of signing. They want IDs. Pretty standard, I would say. They call it a procuration document. At the end, that's what I have. Yeah.
Okay, great. A couple more questions. Will the brand bring management, or are you going to hire third-party management to operate?
So I've looked at third-party managers who are specifically in Dakar. So I'm so sorry, I'm going to butcher their names. I want to say Lifehouse is in Dakar, Zotels, and the other name I definitely, Tilio. They operate at least 5 hotels in Dakar, so I think there would be a really good job. But if the brand wants to manage, I'm totally open to that. I know for a fact, humbly, that it won't be me doing it.
And then you, on one of your slides, you talked about having American food, and it's 7.5 hours flight from New York. So how much American travel do you expect versus African continental travel and in-country travel?
Thank you. That's a great question. So literally just yesterday, I had to double check how many people from America travel between the months of December and March to the 3 main West African countries. I'm putting Senegal in there. Nigeria, Ghana, and Senegal. That can be argued, though, if that's the 3 main countries. And the stat was 170,000 people are traveling between those 4 months. Yes, that was correct. Okay, maybe it was 270. Yes, so that's just America. That's not counting the people who come from Europe. The other African countries, Senegal's population is actually mixed. I want to say 20% are from other West African, not just West African, actually the whole African country. We have a huge Lebanese population. There was another part to your question. I don't want to miss it.
I think you answered that part, but I do have one final question, and my colleagues might have more. What's the brand equity behind Gale? Like, what does that mean? And have you talked to, Marriott and Hilton about that naming and what it means?
Yeah, so Gale means home in Pular. Pular is the Senegalese name for Fulani. Has anybody here ever heard of the Fulani people? Yeah? Yeah, okay, I know a little something. So, really quick history lesson. Senegal is super peaceful, stable democracy. We just elected our he's our 5th president. He's only 44, so young, very progressive. So I say all that to say, back to your question,
Why'd you pick
the naming? Thank you. Okay, so we're made up of different people, but it's all very kumbaya. And Wolof people are the main ones. So that's the Jollof rice. The Wolof, earlier I said teranga, means hospitality in Wolof. But I am from the second most common tribe, which are the Fulani or the Pular people. And that's really my native tongue. Like, my dad doesn't speak a lick of English. He just speaks Pular to me. And that's where the name comes. And no, I did not discuss the name with them. It's kind of a non-negotiable.
Thank you.
Love it. Great job, Amina.
Thank you.
So you're going to go backstage and have your interview with Tejal.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
So any of the hip hop heads, you caught the references, right? Yeah. Okay, so it is time to make your voice heard. You only have 10 minutes to rate this pitch. So bring out your phones, take the time, rate the pitch. Feedback is so important to each participant. Remember that at the end of our show, you are going to go back in and vote on your very favorite pitch. This person will be awarded the Viewer's Choice Award. Also, every time you rate and vote on a pitch, you'll be entered to win one of our amazing door prizes. So there are hotel stays, swag, and some other goodies. All right, Tejal, take it away.
All right. Well, clearly, Shad is on track for international dominance because we had a project pitch in the DR yesterday. Today it was Senegal, and I have Miss Senegal herself, Amina. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I was super nervous, but I'm
We
so
could not
happy.
tell. What are you talking about?
Yeah, once I stepped on stage, it felt very warm, so I relaxed. But beforehand, the folks in the room know I was nervous.
Well, definitely hats off to you. You did an incredible job pitching another complex project. A question regarding specifically Senegal. Did you consider any other market, or were you all in on Dakar?
That's a great question. I think real estate is all about your market knowledge, and my main market knowledge is Brooklyn, born and raised, Miami, where I got my MBA and where I worked for 2 years, and of course Senegal, where I spent 6 years of my life between school and just traveling. So there was no other guess. My capital doesn't stretch far enough in the Americas. All I have is Senegal, and I know Senegal, so it was a really easy choice. I never considered anywhere else.
Nice. And earlier you mentioned that you weren't really able to talk about the ESG component. So in about 20 seconds, what does sustainability mean to you?
I love that. I think a big part of it is water management, waste management. You want to recycle. Yes, a lot of what we try to recycle ends up in landfills, but it's better than not trying. Part of it is also being very philanthropic and being very thoughtful about who you choose to work with you, who you choose to train, who you choose to empower. And of course, like respecting everyone's thoughts and ideas.
I love it. And in a way, that's how you can also get your community to interact with your hotel as well.
Yes.
Well, Amina, again, congratulations. Great job. Now you can definitely breathe a little bit more, relax, and we'll see you later at the luncheon.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Hotels by Choice is geared towards giving women entrepreneurs the resources in their hotel ownership journey. Now here are a few words from Choice Hotels.
Founded nearly 100 years ago, Marriott International's culture of putting people first goes back to our earliest days. Today, our development strategy remains firmly rooted in our values. Our commitment to owners and franchisees has never wavered, and together, we've grown globally. You benefit from market availability and development opportunities, while guests experience more choices from a diverse and innovative portfolio of brands. Our brands and product types offer you flexible options for any market. Whether new build, conversions, adaptive reuse, all-inclusive, or residential projects. From day one, you benefit from access to high-value guests through the world's most celebrated loyalty program and to Marriott's powerful sales and marketing engines that maximize hotel revenue from leisure, business, and group customer segments. Our unmatched global scale creates efficiencies and cost savings for you. And our ability together, we will own the future.
Welcome back to the Shad Talk table. Emma Claire has joined us again. Emma Claire was the winner in 2021. Viviana is still here with me today, and Jenny has come back. Jenny was in SHaDPitch, today's woman competition last year. Ladies, Shad is officially gone international. That's our fourth international pitch. Last year we had Italy, and the year before, I think we were in the Honduras. So, ladies, what did you think about Amina's pitch for the Senegal and her galley stays, which is non-negotiable?
Yeah, I love the passion. She did an amazing job. She obviously has incredible stage presence. Super happy that she's considering some of the Marriott soft brands. I know she talked about Autograph, and I'm happy that she mentioned Tribute as well. Kind of from the moment that I saw this project, I kind of felt that Tribute might be an even better fit than Autograph for a few reasons. The first would be sort of the target guest that she's looking for, the solo traveler, sort of the younger clientele, Gen Z, millennials. Tribute was really designed for that demographic and to bring people together with vibrant social spaces and all of those great things. So I think Tribute Portfolio could be a really excellent fit. I think something that will be important is to just choose a brand as soon as possible, just to ensure that the design is compliant with all of the brands. You know, we typically require groups to work with our recommended branding agencies and interior design firms just to ensure that it's delivered to the brand standards and that it's on strategy. So having those conversations as early as possible and choosing that brand will be really important. But she did an excellent job.
Thank you, Emma Claire. Jenny, you're the guru on the SHAD squad that knows construction. I know you haven't probably done anything internationally, but Amina struggled a little bit with the question about entitlements. Give us some wisdom there for our viewing audience.
Yeah, I wanted to draft a little bit off of Julianne's question up there because it seemed to be like a little bit of a disconnect when there was talk about, I think it was, maybe she said coming up out of the ground in July or August or something, and it's like, wow. So just the process of getting drawings done and getting things ready to go is going to take longer than that, let alone the permit, which I'm sure the jurisdictions are struggling with right now per the growth that we heard about. It's just going gangbusters, and so they're probably struggling about getting control, especially along the coast, which is prime. So, and then we don't even know, you know, what kind of struggles, earth movement, and things like that might happen. So I felt like that was a little bit, well, a lot maybe unrealistic about that timeline. Even though, like, I love the big dream, so I'm just bringing everybody down to the ground, literally, a little bit. So.
Yeah, what about the price of land, Viviana? Like, we looked at a lot of deals together. Like, do we need to go to Senegal?
I think we do. No, I mean, she took advantage of it at a young age, and so good for her. And she seems that she knows the market very well. So I'm very proud of what she pitched today, and I really hope for her dreams to come true. Really.
Wonderful. So that was our fifth pitch. We have one pitch left before we go on to our next pitch. I just want to thank all of our data sponsors. I mean, they provide the data complimentary to our participants, and without them, it wouldn't be possible for them to underwrite the deals. So thank you to Star and Hannah Smith, who helps them. Thank you to Calibri Labs and Jennifer Hill, who helps the women put together comp sets and obtain data. We also have Robert Mandelbaum from CBRE, who provides a lot of forecast and operational data. Ooh, thank you. So we're going to go to the sixth pitch, and we'll be back to the Shad Talk table.
Thank you, Tracy. Our final pitch is a graduate of Grand Canyon University. Let's meet Flourish Hospitality.
Hi, my name is Elise Ruff. I currently reside in Sterling, Virginia, which is a suburb of DC. Long-term goal before I found She Has a Deal was just to kind of be in the hotel industry and work my way up the ladder. And as I've been in She Has a Deal, I've been learning so much about founding my own company, using that to find investors, and basically from the ground up what it would look like to acquire a hotel. While I've been consistent in having that entrepreneurial spirit and my passion for the hospitality industry, I've found it really interesting that I would be able to utilize that in a whole different way through the She Has a Deal program, and maybe even open my own business to do this one day. This program has changed me, I feel like, quite a bit. It's definitely made me analyze my priorities, be really grateful for the people that have stuck by me over the past 9-10 months.
Watch Flourish Hospitality grow as they pitch an extended stay concept for a prime spot in Cary, North Carolina. Please welcome Elise Ruff.
Hello everybody, my name is Elise Ruff and I'm with Flourish Hospitality Collective, but let's get right into it.
Flourish Hospitality Collective, founded by me, Elise Ruff, in 2023. So I have a bachelor's in hospitality management. I graduated from Grand Canyon University in 2021. I have 9 years of hospitality experience, primarily in operations, and most recently my role as a business development manager for Guest Services Incorporated. Today we're going to go over a lot of information, the executive summary to just encompass everything that this deal is, the deal itself, past performance and projections, what the investment is, where it's located, which is Cary, North Carolina, a suburb of Raleigh, as well as how you can connect with me and hear more about this opportunity. The executive summary. So on this slide that you'll see, there is a lot of information, but I'm just going to go over a couple of our key primary points. So a Homewood Suites by Hilton in Cary, North Carolina, 150 keys, situated on 9 acres, built in 1994, last renovated in 2016. We plan to switch the management group from Schulte Hospitality Group to Island Hospitality Management. You'll see our return metrics on the bottom left-hand corner. We plan to hold for 7 years at an 8% interest rate and then refinance to 7% in the next 24 months. Total project cost is $28.7 million, including a PIP cost of $5.25 million. Cost per key, $191,000. The strong performance over the past 7 years from 2016 to 2023, as well as it being in the 8th largest boomtown and 21st fastest growing city, Cary, North Carolina. So our timeline, we plan to complete the change of ownership in Q3 of 2024, as well as acquire all necessary approvals to begin our performance improvement plan in Q4. We plan to complete our performance improvement plan of Q2 2025, ramp up in Q2 2025, stabilize in Q1 of 2026, and exit in Q3 2030, like I mentioned, that 7-year hold strategy. So the deal itself. This is a Homewood Suites, 150 rooms, 2,300 square feet worth of meeting space, swimming pool, fitness center, business center, and like I mentioned, on 9 acres of land, making this a beautiful, ideal property for not only leisure, extended stay, corporate travelers. And then also Schulte Hospitality Group is currently managing this asset, and we do plan to revert back to its previous management group, Island Hospitality Management. The franchise agreement is approved by Hilton until 2036. 6 floors, built in 1994 and last renovated in 2016. So these are some photos of the property currently with that $5.25 million performance improvement plan. We believe that we'll do a complete renovation for the fitness center, meeting rooms, as well as a partial renovation for the lobby, including soft goods, as well as guest rooms, bedrooms, kitchens, bathrooms, and for the exterior, we're doing repairs, refreshment, power washing some outside walls, and just really getting it back up to brand standards where it belongs. And afterwards, these are some concept photos of where we believe that this beautiful property will look after we bring in Esom Ham Design Group, as well as Centerpoint Construction Corporation. We do plan to use Hilton Supply Management, which actually brings about a 19% savings, as opposed to open market costs for our procurement package. We also, with the new Prototype 10 model of Homewood Suites, it features the Pour My Beer feature, which is an F&B upgrade leading to revenue increase, as well as an enhanced retail space, bringing it really to the front and center and enhancing the experience for the customer, as well as increasing revenue, which is what we all love. The elevated public spaces, while that's not a direct revenue generator, it will bring more travelers to this property, and we're really excited to see that happen. Brand performance, I would really hope that everyone in this room has heard of Homewood Suites before, but in case you have not, this is a beautiful extended stay brand by Hilton brand. You'll see 2022 performance against 2023 performance for the Homewood Suites across the entire U.S. We're looking at RevPAR increase of 6.17, as well as ADR 5.43 and occupancy 0.76.
My graph in the bottom left-hand corner, I know it's probably a little bit hard to see, but this is really just showing the overall RevPAR for the Homewood Suites over recessionary periods. You'll see the gray boxes in those recessions, even though it took quite a bit of a hit in COVID, we really saw it stabilize as well as the rest of extended brands. 77.6 room nights associated with Hilton Honors, 66.1 room nights from direct booking, returning cash back into our pockets. So our guests, we really have to understand who's going to stay at this property. We have leisure travelers, corporate accounts, need-based stay. So with our leisure travelers, we're going to have sports travel. Raleigh, North Carolina is actually nicknamed the Smithsonian of the South for all of its free museums open to the public. So lots of museums, amusements. We're seeing a lot of people from the local Southeast area traveling to Cary for leisure. Although that's not our primary market, we're looking at corporate accounts filling most of our rooms, being our business traveling jobs, business trips, project work, especially with the growth of Cary in the past 20 years, and as we see it progress in the next 20. So we're going to see new regional headquarters, trainings for new offices, constructions, and as well as job relocation for people who are moving and relocating to this area. We also wanted to factor in our need-based stay guests, those who may be coming from maybe some harsher environments like Wilmington, North Carolina, who are more susceptible to hurricanes. And Cary is almost a natural preserve. There's a beautiful, they don't get hit with as many natural disasters as other areas. So past performance and projections, as much as I would love to talk about this, we have to go first into our comp set. So we have our Courtyard by Marriott, Sonesta ES Suites, Mainstay Suites, Comfort Suites, as well as Hilton Garden Inn, Raleigh, Cary. So many of these were built in the 90s, last renovated in 2011, with the exception of that Hilton Garden Inn, which was last renovated in 2018. And we do plan that after we complete our performance improvement plan and renovation for this property, that some of these other brands will also follow suit and do some renovations as well. And you'll see the locations. Our Homewood Suites is located in the big white banner in the bottom left-hand corner. And if you can't tell from this map, the furthest that Mainstay Suites, Raleigh, Cary, is about 5 miles from our Homewood Suites. And I did want to highlight the reasons why we chose these hotels is because of similar amenities, and they're really fighting for the same guests that we are. So past ADR, first I'll explain my projections here a little bit, or past performance. So our subject hotel average is $123.53, and this is an average over the past 7 years, with the comp set averaging $109.54. So taking those two averages, we're looking at a 12.05% increase as opposed to our comp set over the past 7 years for ADR. Occupancy 13.29. And past RevPAR, we're looking at a 24.14% increase overall. So as I mentioned, we had Schulte Hospitality Group come in 2020 to the 2023, and that's really where we lost some of that margin of our performance, where we stopped out performing our comp set quite as much. So we do plan to revert back to that Island Hospitality Management because they really understood this property and what it needed to perform within its relative comp set. And then our projections, we plan to have our ADR at 21.34%. This is accounting for construction within the first year. In the second year, there's actually a new Residence Inn that's going to be input into the market. And then we do plan, like I mentioned, to stabilize in Q3 of 2026 in year 3. Occupancy, same thing, 17.63% increase as opposed to our comp set. And for our RevPAR projections, we're looking at a 22.13% overall. And while this is all good, let's talk about the investment. We all love numbers. So altogether, this acquisition cost is going to be $22 million, bringing it down from the acquisition price of the asking price of $23.7 million, as well as the performance improvement plan of the $5.25 million, closing costs of $1.5 million, and the total project cost at $28.7 million. I've also broken this down out per key so that you can compare it to other developments or projects that you may be working on. And like I mentioned, I did want to bring that acquisition price down from $23.7 million, which was the pricing guidance, down to $22 million. And these are some sales comps that help me understand where the market's going and why we believe that we can bring it down to that $22 million. So with our capital stack, we believe to fund with 35% equity as well as 65% debt at an 8% interest rate, hold for 7 years. And overall, we do plan to refinance in the next 24 months at a 7% interest rate, depending on obviously the administration change and however Federal Chair Jerome Powell would like us to head. So our investment overall, we're looking at a return, internal rate of return of 17.26, as well as cash-on-cash investment of 10.71, and multiple of invested capital of 2.71. So with today's market, these are extremely progressive rates, and this is really going to be an amazing opportunity for a stable market, Raleigh, North Carolina. So here are a couple of different statements that show where the market of Cary is heading. We're looking at 21st fastest growing city, 8th largest boomtown, top 5 best performing city. And some of the growth that we plan to see in the next couple of years is because of its new Epic Game headquarters. They are currently headquartered there, but they do plan to bring their global headquarters to Cary. And there's also a new Apple headquarters, which will be built, I believe, in 2026, last I checked, 11.4 miles away, and 3 notable universities in the area. And while these are a little bit further from our specific hotel, we do realize that the impact of such large businesses and corporations on the economic development of Cary, North Carolina, and we plan that we'll see it grow tremendously in the next 15, 20 years. Steady population. One of the reasons that I love this asset was just because of the steady, holistic growth that we've seen in Cary. The city planners are incredibly purposeful in the way that they build the town, and they make sure that everything is going to grow in the best holistic way. So we've seen population increase for Cary at 1.66 average over the past 10 years, and for Raleigh, we're looking at a 2.79 increase over the past 10 years as well. So some demand drivers, I should very much so highlight that our Homewood Suites is located in Office Park, and this is about a 4-mile radius that you're seeing Wake Med Hospital, Siemens Health and Hearing headquarters. We're also looking at Lord Corporation, Erie Insurance, Raleigh office, so a lot of demand generators and about 20 offices within this 4-mile radius. And last but not least, I know that that's a lot of information. How can you connect with me? So you can scan the QR code, ask me questions. I would love to follow up with you afterwards and talk about this amazing opportunity and all of the research that I've done to bring this all to you today. And I also wanted to thank all of the help that I've gotten for this presentation, including MKM Management Consulting, Hilton, Marriott, CHM Warnick, Calibri Labs for data, and last but not least, Shad, for letting me be here today and just giving me the opportunity to showcase my skills. And I also did want to thank my husband, Michael, who's helped me so much in the past 9 months, just holding me accountable and just making me be the best person I can possibly be. Thank you.
Great job. Okay, judges. Ryan, you want to start?
Sure. Great presentation. Wonderful. My question was more around the financing. I know you modeled a rate or refinance in year 2. Was that modeled within your pro forma? Obviously, as a banker, I love getting 8%. I don't know if I like getting 7%, but if you're staying with the same lender, more or less, you might have prepayment penalty costs and things like that. So essentially doubling your closing costs from what you're estimating. And having to incur that twice. So just a little bit of background on that.
Yes, within my financial model, I did reflect costs that would go into acquiring a whole new loan, as well as any transition that would take place.
Julian?
Really great job, and nice job thanking the people who've helped you get where you are right now. I really appreciate that expression of gratitude. Couple questions. One is building on Ryan's question, which is regarding the loan. Have you spoken to a number of lenders, first of all? And then secondly, you mentioned acquiring the existing contract where there's only about 12 years left. With all the money that you're putting into it and your exit strategy, have you talked to Hilton about extending that and resetting it at maybe a 20-year agreement?
I have not spoken with Hilton about resetting that agreement, as I do plan to exit before at the 7 years. So at that point, we do plan to have a change of ownership before the agreement were to basically end. And then also regarding your question about financing, I spoke with various lenders in the market and was asking about what the general rates, but I didn't go to them about this particular deal and got my numbers in that way.
Just think about your buyer on your exit, not just you, right? So in regard to the franchise agreement. And then there's 9 acres, and I think a Homewood typically takes probably 3 acres with its surface parking. So any ideas on what to do with the other acreage? Are they developable?
I don't believe that they're developable, but at this point, I just believe that this is a beautiful asset as is, and that's a wonderful question, and I would love to do some more research into that and see what we could do.
Matt?
We tend to be on the same page with questions here, because I'm like, the whole franchise agreement, it's all great. You answered it all. I think you did a fantastic job, so thank you.
Thank you.
Love it. Galen?
Yeah, and maybe just for my purposes, just to summarize, I think the thesis that you've laid here is lift and performance. And that lift, and I just want you to correct me, is an injection of about $5 million plus a shift in management. Is that the whole story? And how much of that incremental demand do you think that you'll be able to capture if that's the whole story, or am I missing something?
No, I do believe that we'll basically over the past 4 years since they switched hospitality management groups, that they have not been performing where they should be in respect to their comp set. They've still been outperforming their comp set, but I do believe that they could be doing a lot better. So yes, reverting that management, but then also adding the additional revenue components like that retail increase. Something that's beautiful that Hilton has been adding is more localized options. So really when people are staying at a Homewood Suites, they might not just be picking up a meal to take back into their room, but also maybe a little mug that symbolizes the spirit of Raleigh or Cary.
Wonderful. Mary?
Hi, great job.
Thank you.
Your sales comps are great. They're helpful to see in the per key acquisition price. Do you have any idea what type of investment they put in for the change of ownership PIP? Could help kind of back your all-in price per key cost if they also had significant renovations after acquisition.
I do not know that off the top of my head, but I would love to research that more and do some more due diligence.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Judges, anything further? Matt?
I would just like to say that it's very refreshing to hear women thanking their husbands for support, because we seriously want to have more women running our hotels. You do a fantastic job, not only running hotels, owning them as well. So thank you, and thank you, husband.
I love it. Okay, well done, Elise. You are going to go backstage to Tejal, who'll do your backstage interview.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
So Elise was the last pitch of the day, and here's how this will work. You've got 10 minutes to rate Elise's pitch, so asking you to do that now. The QR code is on the screen, and everyone in the room and watching on the stream can vote now. Then, starting at 1 p.m., you'll have 30 minutes to place your votes for Viewers' Choice Awards. Remember, You have to go back in. It's so important for those teams. And with that, Tejal, over to you.
All right. So earlier you heard from one of our founding partners, Marriott. Our founding partners are those incredible supporters who have been there since day one of the She Has a Deal movement. So thank you, Marriott, for your unconditional support. And now I have Elise. I have a soft spot for solo pitchers because when I pitched 100 years ago, I was a solo pitcher as well. So how do you feel after basically marinating in all the anxiety today?
I feel great. I think it will be great to just have a couple of breaths after this and decompress. But overall, I'm incredibly proud of just getting to this point. And I did mention I've had a lot of support. And so I just really appreciate the people that have brought me here. And I'm excited to celebrate with them.
I love that. And so what actually motivated you to be a solo pitcher versus when you could have had a team?
So I actually took a not too traditional route towards my hospitality management degree. So actually I didn't have a ton of socialization within hospitality industry, and I couldn't even really think of a girlfriend that would do this with me. So I decided to do it on my own because it was something I really wanted to grow in, and I knew that it would be a wonderful time.
Oh, we're definitely going to talk a little bit over at the awards luncheon. So, as again, it's a 9-month process. So what was the one main challenge that you faced, and how did you overcome that while putting this deal together?
I would probably say the very beginning, there was a lot of information overload, but in the best type of way. I think just that imposter syndrome of like, why am I doing this? Is this really right for me? But as I dig deeper and I just re-listened to some of the calls and I was like, okay, I'm starting to get this now. And so that was probably the biggest challenge. And then probably towards the middle, as soon as things started getting a little tricky, just asking for help. And that pretty much carried me through the rest of the way.
I think we can all identify with imposter syndrome at some point in our lives, but you definitely killed it out there. Nothing but pure confidence. So congratulations again, and I'll see you next door in a couple minutes.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep, of course. And now a final word from one of our sponsors, Choice Hotels.
Only one woman for every 9.4 men holds investment or development positions in the hospitality industry, and the number of female hotel owners is not representative of the industry's diverse consumers. This is because female entrepreneurs have access to less financing than men and get smaller loans at higher interest rates on average. It's time to rebalance the scales of opportunity. As an organization who has been at the forefront of empowerment in hospitality for over 20 years, Choice Hotels is now investing more than ever to help women become a force in the industry. Introducing Hotels by Choice Hotels, a program designed by women for women to make the dream of hotel ownership more attainable for women worldwide. It's our mission to support and empower female entrepreneurs through dedicated training, turnkey solutions, and financial guidance. To reach underrepresented groups, Choice Hotels remains the first and only hotel company with dedicated personnel solely focused on extending opportunities in hotel ownership. And with more women investors, enthusiasts, innovators, and up-and-comers in the hospitality industry than ever before, there's never been a better time than now. Hotels by Choice Hotels, building equity through hospitality.
Wow. Those pitches were fabulous. Judges, I can't wait to see what you come up with. So we're back to the Shad Talk table, and I'm joined by another Shad alum, Teresa. How are you? SHaDPitch 2023. Morgan is back, and we also have Emma Claire here. We have 2 winners.
Yes. Go solo pitchers.
Yes,
solo pitchers.
21 and 22. And 23 was a solo pitcher. Is that a trend?
Yeah, I think it might be a trend.
So too. We have to give a shout out to Chandler Williamson. She was our SHaDPitch 2023 Early Careerist winner. Chandler had a car accident. Someone hit her, and so she wasn't able to make it. Chandler, we hope you're doing well. I know you're watching. So, Teresa.
Yes.
This is your first seat at the Shad Talk table.
Yes, it is.
And you pitched us today's woman. You were not a solo pitcher.
I was not.
You had a teammate. What did you think about Elise's presentation?
I thought it was great. I thought she picked a great location, being in Raleigh area, Cary, North Carolina, being military. That is a great area for government employees, and most of the time we have to stay at extended stay. So I thought it was a great property.
Okay. Any other comments on the performance? Because I want to go down to some of those numbers.
Well, I also thought that she did a wonderful job. Again, as a solo pitcher, I understand what it feels like to be up there. And I also, when she was just thanking all of the people that supported her and her husband, I really felt that too, because I also had a ton of support, and I know how much that helps in getting through to today. So just, again, wonderful job.
It matters who you marry. Okay, so Morgan, you got your laptop out. So I want to get down to these numbers. We know that the judges are looking at, the market analysis, how well they know the market. They're looking at their due diligence, and did they demonstrate that this is a feasible project for investors? So what do you have? What are you looking at?
Yeah, so I know a lot of today I've been like, this might be a little aggressive. I don't have that comment for this switch. No, I was looking at the numbers, and I thought what she projected for both the comp set and for the subject property in terms of performance was reasonable. She seemed to be getting back to pre-COVID kind of performance for this property after the renovation. I thought that was reasonable. There was a little bit of shift in mix out of occupancy and into ADR, which seems to be the trend in the market, but I did think it was very reasonable, and after a $5 million renovation and some changes in management and that strategy, it should be reasonable.
So I actually happen to know those folks at Island Hospitality, and so interesting that she was going to shift from Schulte to Island. Emma Claire, do you think that's a good strategy? I mean, when you look at her projections and where they were and where she wanted them to go, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be curious to know if she's spoken with the folks over at Island and kind of, seen what they've had to say. I'd also be curious to know who currently owns the property, if it's Schulte that's owning and operating, and if that would have an impact. But yeah, I definitely think it's a really good strategy. And yeah, I didn't get a chance to comment, but again, just so impressed. She did an incredible job. I had the chance to help her out and look through her pitch a little bit before, and yeah, she just did an amazing job.
Tracy, you have any comments on her financials? I mean, we can talk about, with the due diligence, which is very important to confirm feasibility, so how she projected. Morgan commented on that. Do you agree with Morgan? Anything different that you would say?
I agree with Morgan. The only thing that I think is the operation expenses is the maintenance of the 9 acres. Even though she's looking at the 3 acres, the 9 acres, that's a lot of upkeep. I don't know if she included that in her numbers for the additional acres that's surrounding the hotel.
Let's move on to return on investment, because every investor wants to make money. How realistic were her projections? I mean, I looked at the IRR, sub 20%. Like to see 20%, but these days with interest rates, what do you guys think?
Again, I thought the projections were reasonable. I thought her return on investment was reasonable. I would say the one threat is certainly going to be, it was a Residence Inn that was coming into the market. And, that's going to be brand new. I know this property, I think, was built in 2004, last renovated in 2016. But, you can't compete against a new build, in the same way, even with the renovation. So I do think that's going to be a little bit of a threat, and you'll really have to strategize against them.
And then McClare's probably saying, the Residence Inn, Marriott. Or
Homewood's a great brand too. But yeah, in terms of return on investment, I know she talked about, doing a refi and getting down to a 7% interest rate. So yeah, just making sure that she does have that sensitivity analysis in the case that she's unable to do that will be really important. But hopefully that happens. I think we're all hoping that happens. So,
I missed that part. Because she said she was going to refinance in a couple of years, why she would need to do that on this type of asset. Did you guys, I may have missed it in the presentation, did you guys recall if she was getting a bridge loan to get the PIP done? Because generally, if the PIP is big enough, you may have to get a bridge loan, but I wouldn't want to put a risk of a 2-year refinance. But anybody?
I don't think she mentioned what type of loan she would actually get. She did say 35% versus 65%. 35% equity, 65% the loan. But she didn't say what type.
Yeah. So, it's almost time to wrap up. This is the last pitch of the day. We're going to move over to the luncheon. Any last thoughts on the 6 pitches that we had today?
I would say I do appreciate her saying that her husband, as women, sometimes we forget about who support us the most. It's our significant others, and we have to give them praise because sometimes they be like, where you at? Why are you doing this?
Just for all the ladies that pitched today, again, wonderful job. I know it's tough to be up there, so I just want to commend everyone because, again, outstanding performance from everyone.
Yeah, absolutely second that. Every single year that I come here, I'm continually impressed and super inspired. It makes me want to go out and make another pitch because it's really fun.
Do it again.
I agree with you on that one.
So thanks to all the alum who joined me at the Shad Talk table. We'll see you all at the luncheon soon. Thank you.
Thanks.
What a day it's been. Let's start by giving a big round of applause to each of the teams that pitched today. These teams shared such innovative visions. Their passion is truly what She Has a Deal is all about. It's been absolutely amazing being here today and then seeing the SHaD alums. So many of them who I rooted for. So being able to see Emma Claire, I feel like I'm seeing a celebrity after I rooted for her. So cool that they were able to come back. Next, I'd like to bring Tracy back to the stage to help me thank the judges and also our sponsors. Hi, Fred.
Applause to all of our judges and our sponsors. Yes. Thank you, judges, so much. Your wisdom and support don't just feel that this is a competition, but they fuel futures in the hospitality industry. Your insights today were so important for the teams to hear. And to our sponsors, on behalf or for your belief in our mission is making real change. Thank you for investing in these incredible women. And thank you to you, Renisha.
Thank you.
Being one of our sponsors and being very supportive of She Has a Deal. I really appreciate you.
My pleasure. And to you, our audience, both here and watching from afar, your engagement and your enthusiasm have been the heartbeat of this event. Your participation is a testament to the collective desire to see a more inclusive and innovative future in the hotel industry. Don't forget, now is the time to use the QR code again to vote for your favorite pitch. You've got 30 minutes to vote for the Viewer's Choice Award, and remember, every vote counts in supporting these women. We're going to continue the celebration at the awards luncheon, where we'll reveal the winners. Your presence here has been a powerful reminder of the strength of our community. Until we meet again, let's keep lifting each other up and pushing boundaries. Thank you. Thank you, Tracy.
You're welcome.
And we'll see you at the luncheon. Have a great day.
Thank you.
She's brilliant and bold, got talent untold. Every woman lives a spirit. She's leading the way, she's winning the day. Brighter than gold, she has a deal. 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 She has a deal.